talk show.
Recorded live.
I told her how we can help you. I'll leave down. Never lost. Full respect. Now we're talking. Let's try to understand. Let's try. Let's try that. My life is all I have. My mind, my head, my hand. And I done made it through the struggle, don't judge me. What you say now won't touch me. That's where I come from. So often, before you grew up with a leg and a orphan. But I done made it through the pain and strife. My time now, my world, my life, my life. This big storm, life, loaded guns, telling my lawyers to get the case on. I need the bill that the president's got the case on, so I can switch my president. Bitch, fucking elect. Check, I no longer have to wait for him. I made a couple ends, lost a couple friends. I light up because it never was a struggle end. So you can judge it, but you ain't got it, you ain't in the road. So you really can't budge it. You all a lover. For the fact that it's my world and my life, and still I'm a rugged. They say you bugging, and I'm a thuggin'. You fucking move and kick it with a numbin'. I got a bigger bag, and I need a cover. And I ain't got friends, I got enemies. So if they with me, then that means they my brother. My life is all I have. My mind, my head, my hand. And I done made it through the struggle, don't judge me. What you say now won't touch me. That's where I come from. So often, before you grew up with a leg and a coffin. But I done made it through the pain and strife. My time now, my world, my life, my life. The hand, praise the dead. When a man hustling, scared of the bed, they say death is eternal sleep. But the only sleep we really sure you prepare for the bed. So often we get hurt in the head instead of big money. They got big mama hurting instead. My life is making the birth, but the handcuffs, the bullpens, the jail cells are making it worse. Tell mommy I don't go to the church. Tell Hawk I don't go to the mosque. I'm local, hold guns, and I'ma be right there when the soldiers are marched. I play my part, and my heart stays colder than Mars. But on the flip side of things, it's still warmer than snow. I had talks with the Lord, and he'll be calling me soul one. And my life is all I had. My family, my soul, my family. My life is all I have. My mind, my head, my hand. And I done made it through the struggle, don't judge me. What you say now won't touch me. That's where I come from. So often, before you grew up with a leg and a coffin. But I done made it through the pain and strife. My time now, my world, my life, my life. My life is all I have. My mind, my head, my hand. And I done made it through the struggle, don't judge me. What you say now won't touch me. That's where I come from. So often, before you grew up with a leg and a coffin. But I done made it through the pain and strife. My time now, my world, my life, my life. My life. My life. My life.
Brother asked last night what they was doing. I think I'm probably at the game out today by the number of us that stood up to their flag. Y'all know that flag has never represented us or our freedom. So at this time, like the Cracker would ask you to do, I'm going to ask you all to stand. Put your black power fist in the air. If any of you want the lyrics to the song or want the song, I do have a CD back there. If you want the song in particular, I will give it to you. Because as the brother said, this is something that we should have at our event to open up each event. Black Power Family?
Black Power.
Oh, say, and you see, heaven's old and I take you for the night and let our people be kind.
All right, y'all. Black Power, BB48, Mount Hotep. Welcome to Feet on the Ground Radio. You know what it is. It's Slaughterhouse Saturday. We're going to get it in nice for the people, you dig? We're going to do something real good. Tonight we're going to go in on a little topic of contention. We normally don't get into those things that we sometimes label as distracting, but a lot of things got to be spoken through and spoken to. So what's going on tonight is we're going to address some of these things that's going on inside of the Facebook world. Seems like there's a lot of going back and forth and a couple of things happening with where we stand as moral with our moral character. I'll say, we getting a lot of pressure on what is RBG, who is RBG, what are the characteristics of being RBG. There's been a big to do about this N-word, nigga, naga, nagas, Niger, ninja, whatever the hell, nagas, whatever you want to, however you want us to use it tonight. But there's a lot of contention behind this word and whether or not one who is utilizing this word can be deemed a Pan-African, could be deemed somebody who is riding for the red, black, and green, someone who is wanting the upliftment of African people. Because one of the things that's being laid is that if you are not for the removal of this word, then you are for racism, white supremacy. Another thing being touted is that if you are not for that, if you are in favor of any type of use of the word nigga, then you are in direct conflict with Marcus Mosiah Garvey. And these things are being laid out now that it's an either or. Either you're with me or against me. Me personally, I'm trying to figure out when did these things, when did the elected officials come up inside this nation? I want to know that first. I'd like to see a layout of these moral character, on the moral law for this new African nation, understanding that it's a new thing growing right now. Also, I just want to have an open dialogue tonight and deal with the reality of the term. And also what I want to do is deal with the crux of this situation right here, which really seems more of a personal battle between two entities in what we call the Pan-African community, the RBG community, the New African community. We have two entities. Some would say giants to the community, who are right now on opposite sides, and it seems like it's being a wedge. It's a wedge being pushed in, and a moat being being carved out, and bridges are being burnt. And I'm saying that I don't think that that's going to be proper or the right minute to go for such a young nation. There's always a thought that we have bigger fish to fry. And I'm not going to go with that thing that we got bigger fish to fry. What I'm saying is that this is an ongoing process, which each and every facet within inside our lives must be redirected from dealing with this racism, white supremacy, which has affected us has affected us in the mannerism that right now, man, we just barely coming out of it. Like I'm telling you, like we just got free in 1965, and I don't even think that we free, but I'm saying that they just put on the books that they will let you vote, which is how what we call society. That's when you got some type of freedom, when you could try to participate in the politics of the nation. So we dealing from the back burner, but while dealing from there, we have learned to revamp the system. We new Africans. Once upon a time, remember, black was looked at as a bad thing. To James Brown said he was black and he was proud. Even now, we got people who are of the Moorish paradigm who will argue you up and down that black means death. Are we to accept that? Then I ask the question, where are the next things that we're going to? But before I do that, I just want to say what's up to the family. Family, I'm BB4ODA. How y'all doing out there? Sister Camille out there. I know, I think y'all seen Brother Little out there. I ain't back in the chat room right now, but if y'all out there, family, and BB4ODA.
Black Power, fam.
And Black Power. What's going on, Sister Camille? You out there?
Black Power, BB4ODA.
BB4ODA.
You were quite elegant, my African warrior. My Niger. My Negress, or whatever the fuck,
I'm glad to have everybody in. I see the shooting out there. I see you out there, beautiful ODA.
Afrakan.
Man, you know what they do, know what I'm saying? You know how it is, Slaughterhouse Saturday, man. Once in a while, we got to get it in, man. We ain't drew no blood in a while. We've been letting it go on. We was jumped on the Christianity, but right now this thing has come back. We did a show on this a while back, but now it's being revamped. You know what I mean? This question is being revamped and being pushed out to the people in a mannerism that I'm not agreeable with. But the theme of tonight's question is the N-word or nigga. Is it important, or is this just another distraction tool that we should just go ahead and lay down and leave this shit alone? And while doing that, what I'm going to do is, family, the first thing I'm going to do is, because the situation came about from a post off of the book, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the post and I'm going to allow y'all to listen for your own self. You know what I'm saying? To this right here. And then we'll discuss exactly what's being said in this. And after you listen to it, I'll give my I'll let you know what I read. But this is off of FB. It says the N-word question of the day. Does this represent Marcus Mosiah Garvey and the red, black, and green that he stood for?
Black Power. It's your brother Sarah Fatty, and I'm back at y'all ass again with this real fucking talk. Okay? Today, I just, I'm hearing, a lot of conversation out there, about this nigga word. Okay, I was even looking today on 60 Minutes where they were discussing the use of the word nigga and one of Huckleberry Finn. The term was used many times in that story, and so it was a big discussion on whether the word should be taken out. Listen here. I don't believe at all that we should get rid of the word nigga. Not at all. Because that shit is a part of our history. Okay? It is a part of our motherfucking history. The nigga word tells us how the fuck we got into the motherfucking predicament we in.
cheeky shit and pretend like they somebody. But when it comes down to the revolutionary part of our struggle, being up in this crack of faith.
All his followers are
excuse me. Point yourself. Listen, the lines is open right now, right? So we got a video playing. We got a little something playing. If you got anything going on in your background or if you're speaking right now, please mute your line or I'll have to go through the line and mute your line for you. But I would rather you mute your own line so we can keep it going how it's going. Like that.
They can't do shit but rock this fucking dashiki shit and pretend like they somebody. But when it comes down to the revolutionary part of our struggle, being up in this crack of faith, getting ready to get in his motherfucking ass, you bitch ass motherfuckers don't want to do shit. So then what is it? It's wordplay. You motherfuckers want no wordplay. We know what the cracker called us. And then we're not for sure 100% about the word because the word in many constructs exists in African language in positive light. And so just like you got the Moors that would say black means down, they have taken other words in our culture and have demonized it. And so you got to go deeper than when the cracker said it. You got to go deeper than that because they didn't demonize all of our ancient history so that we would shun it, okay? That we would shun it. And so from a military standpoint, I don't give a fuck about motherfuckers saying it's wrong. If I say nigga and I could get 1,000 motherfuckers to turn around and look, that right there is success. Now that you got them to look, you got an opportunity to say something to them, you punk ass nigga. But if you say African and you get 2 motherfuckers to turn around and neither one of them want to be down, bitch, you failed. You didn't fail, nigga. So you don't understand. You're not thinking from a military standpoint. You ain't gonna win shit. Motherfuckers been saying that word for over 600 motherfucking years. And ain't no way you gonna breathe that out. Technically, the word don't exist. It's gonna exist one way or another. Motherfuckers are not gonna stop. So you on some crusade that has no objective. It has no end result. It's just a continuous, motherfucker don't say nigga. Don't say nigga. Okay, if I don't say nigga, bitch, can I go get a job? Is it gonna stop police brutality? If I stop saying nigga, is my baby gonna be able to go to college? Like these cracker babies, is every black baby gonna be able to go to college because they don't say nigga? Is my woman gonna stay, in a black relationship with her man if he stops saying nigga? Or is the black man gonna love the black woman even more
some unity in it. You understand what I'm saying? If it was destroying us, like many people saying it is, why would the cracker all of a sudden come out and say we shouldn't say it? Because too many of us identify with it. And if you get the right brother or sister that know how to utilize that, it becomes a military advantage for black people. Fuck y'all motherfuckers.
Like that.
Black power.
Black power. That's why I fucks with the general, nigga.
All right.
Now, the question was asked, you know, about this N-word, whether Marcus Garvey would agree with it. So I had to answer the question as yes, I think it is a representation of the spirit of freedom of self-realization, which is first in defining your plans. I realized that in this system we are niggas, and I define that as victims of racism, white supremacy. Garvey spoke a message of unity. He wanted to do it under African, but settled on Negro. Our brother Seti here is saying to me in this clip, we have to unify, and at the end of the day, we are all victims of racism, white supremacy. We are created niggas, manufactured here, but the social construct is what is our problem. And yes, words play a part of that, but our perspective of self does also. And and I say this right now because what's going on is we got the irritated genie, Sarasut Seti, supposed to be like some type of battle. Know what I mean? Down the middle, either you with Garvey and you don't say nigga and you down with the genie, or you say nigga and you ain't down with Garvey, you some type of demon in the community, which is some shit that's not going to really work with me, period. Now, I'm going to have to say this right here, though, but this is how I look at the whole situation, is that as a victim, I find it hard to tell another victim how to express the pain of their reality. Every victim has a right to express their pain as they see fit. You know what I'm saying? And you know, and one of the things about what we're going with, like, I just want to know when did we elect these leaders, man? See, like, we dealing in a situation, man, I don't personality worship. I don't cult worship nobody. You know what I mean? I've listened to several different people. I wouldn't even be, see, the way that this argument going, if the brother Seti wouldn't be exactly how he is, I wouldn't even be paying attention. Probably wouldn't even be on the mic right now talking to nobody on this line right now. You know what I'm saying? On some roach. I probably wouldn't be chopping it up because, you know what I mean, what he did with his language was brought back the urgency and let me know there was somebody just like me thinking about this shit just like this. You know, we don't want to break this down, but what's going on is there's a class war. Now we start to get into classism. Certain type of class of RBG. Certain type of class of Pan-African. You know, now it's, you know, and when I say that class, when I say classism, it's like, y'all niggas down there is the reason why we still in this situation, because y'all won't stop saying nigga. Which don't make sense to me. I thought it was the fact that we was up under the motherfucking boot of racism, white supremacy, why we couldn't come, you know, they got us fucked up. I didn't know that it was just our repeating of the term nigga. That I would say this right here has been inside our word lexicon easy 45 years. 45 years easy right now. You know what I'm saying? And inside the African community, that's 3 generations raised on nigga as some type of term that they could use between each other to lift each other up, to be able to identify with each other in the situation that they was dealing in. Even if it wasn't at first to lift each other up, it was the first thing it was that identification and connection between me and you both dealing with racism, white supremacy. We both dealing with the bullshit, so we know we niggas in this situation, so we first identify with each other like that. You know, and that's why I looked at the brother said he was pulling with this, with his words was that if we're going to unify, we're going to have to unify on some terms. You know what I mean? And I know we all can understand that we being oppressed here. I want to find the black person who has eliminated racism, white supremacy totally from out of your life, and I will deem that you are no longer a nigga. But you got to prove it first. You can't just tell me. You have to prove that. You know what I mean? So what I'm looking at, this is a bunch of rigmarole. I want to hear everybody, expression on this situation, or nigga on the brother Seti, a little 15, about 10, 11 minutes, on the clip that I played, and we can get it in from there. Black Power. Brother Little, go ahead. You set it off for us, Brother Little.
Man, so for me, brother, it's just all about finger pointing. Like the general said, you don't want to deal with the cracker. So me saying, nigga, I'm the reason why we ain't ahead, dog. I just got here 30 years ago, dog. You feel me? So damn, because I bump Easy-E and shit. I listen to my nigga shit. I do nigga shit. You feel me? And like, I mean, what is they trying to prove at the end of the day? What I'm trying to like the general said. We stop saying nigga. What's gonna magically happen? What's gonna magically happen? And to me, nigga ain't even a bad word. I ain't never used it in the bad connotation to where I was trying to degrade another motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? I got other words for that when I want to degrade you, nigga. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it's just some petty bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And it don't hold no boundaries, because when you do the science, like I'm gonna just say, my argument to the fam, who created the word Nigeria and Niger? Okay, Black Power.
Black Power. Come on in, Sister Camille. Go ahead, let us know what you thought about with the clip that I just played of the general.
Black Power all day with the general. One of the things that he said at the end, which was quite telling, which is true. You got the cracker beats now saying, don't use the N-word. Why would they do that? Is it that, as the general said, it is a unifying word? I grew up with adults around me, young adults, older children around me. That's the word that you use, as the brother Little said. It was used in the terms of endearment. I myself try not to use the word because of, how it came out of our enslavement. But at the end of the day, how that word come about, like the brother said, where we get Nigeria from? The goddamn cracker beat. So if you got a problem with your people calling themselves nigga, what up, my nigga, in terms of adornment, have a problem with the goddamn cracker beats in this racist fucking society. You got a problem with us being mentally enslaved, have a problem with the fact that we still got the majority of our children being raised by motherfucking oppressors who created the negative connotation on the word nigga that's bothering you today.
That's right. Right, family, brother Mekara. Brother Mekara, you out there? He was driving. I see him out there. Well, family, the lines is open. We got, the lines is open. So,
This Solar Mind. What's going on, family?
There you go, brother Solar Mind. What's banging, homie? How you, man?
Yeah, I'm cooling, man. I remember I was like in the 3rd or 4th grade, and we was reading the countries in Africa, and the teacher pointed to Niger, and the girl was like, nigga. And the teacher got mad as hell. But she got mad and was like, no, it's Niger. You know what I'm saying? That's how you pronounce it. You know what I'm saying? Niger. And then the little girl was like, yeah, that look like nigga to me. And then everybody started laughing. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying that to say, I mean, that kind of crossed my mind when you was like, why do they get mad when we say nigga? You know what I'm saying? Like they get like upset. They get like, you know what I mean? They get upset as if that term was used on them and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like they went through a form of oppression under that banner of being a nigga. You know what I mean? But it's the other way around. So it's like it's a unifying tool. I mean, I'm kind of like, you know, because I still use the word. So it's like it's entrenched within our culture. But, you know, I think I look at it as, see, us using that word, it symbolizes and it reinforces to them that we still remember what you did to us. See, that's why they don't really like that shit. They don't really like that shit because when we use it, it's like, damn, they took the word that we used when we was whipping them, and we was using them as exploitation to build this great country, and it's kind of like we turning it around and putting that shit in their face, man. That's why they don't like that shit. Because now they try to sit up there on the banner like this is like the land of the free and the home of the brave. Now it's like this shit is all good. They letting foreign motherfuckers in. You know what I mean? They trying to indoctrinate the foreigners like this is a country like, you know, if you work, you want to get your due. You know what I mean? But all along, this shit is like built off of exploitation and oppression. And that shit always, you know, is reinforced when they see us, man. And that's by us using that term, it's kind of like just remind them of what they did to us, man. So that's why they don't like that shit, man.
Yo, that's an excellent point, brother. Fucking excellent point, brother.
Excellent point, Solomon. Black top.
Right, pal.
That's my nigga.
Yeah, man, you know, Brother Solomon, that was I didn't think about that fact that the white people, they do act extra angry when we start to utilize that term. You know, they get very uneasy, and as you said, it is a constant reminder that as long as that term is being used, that we can easily in our own genetic code, we will be reminded of what happened to us. And that at any point in time, if you keep reminding the person of some things that you did to them, that sooner or later they might want to react to it. I remember when the initial ban of what they came with the ban, we're going to ban the N-word with Al Slickback Sharpton, Message Judge and the boys. They all came together and said they were going to bury the N-word. And one thing that I looked at that now, and I said to myself, you know, when you say you're going to bury the N-word, we're dealing with some slickery because the N-word is slick. It's so slick that you try to bury the N-word and nigga didn't get in the casket. See, because you can bury the N-word, but nigga don't stay in the context that you want it to be in.
Right.
You might want it to be in a box like this, but then it'll get out the box and do that over there. And my thing about this whole situation right here is really that it's something that's done more like internal fighting with this side of the community. And that's going to go bad. That's going to go extra bad. You don't want to, like you know what I mean? R. Kelly. R. Kelly, right? R. Kelly raped a fucking baby. Raped a baby on camera. Pissed on her on camera. I think that pedophiles and molesters are more of a problem than people saying nigga or N-word, however you want it to be. R. Kelly, before I can go out and want to really condemn a man over the N-word, first I got to get my hands on R. Kelly's neck. First, I got to bust his head. Then next, we got to go get King Noble. Because we got other people talking about let's rape black women is revolutionary. See, then we got to go dealing with them first before we can go deal with Sarah Seti about, You know what I'm saying? The N-word, that's my perspective. That's how I see it. You know what I mean? I understand, I understand how people, say, well, they certain things, like I understand how the connotation, how in America, how we got that word right now. I understand the beatings and all of those things. But as I said, we got 3 generations of babies who grew up with no idea about any of that other history. They weren't being taught it. Their parents wasn't reminding them of it. So what they got was what was going on right then and there. They got what was happening then, and we just came up with it. So now we strive to do the African thing, to realize we're in a situation and try to change the paradigm on our own. So I don't fault the African for trying to do as best as he can, dealing with racism, white supremacy. You are afforded. You are afforded the opportunity to defeat racism, white supremacy in the best way that you know how, unless I figure out a way that's better. But until I figure out a way that I can give out to everybody and say, look, this is the ultimate way, then everybody is charged with that you know what I'm saying, that duty to defeat racism, white supremacy in the best way that you know how. And with that, I say, Ashe, the lines is open. Feel me? If y'all want to come in, all you got to do is say part of self. I want to add on, and I'll let you right on in. I just heard somebody trying to come in. Black Power, just state your name.
Yeah, I was about to say something, I was just, pertaining to the word nigga. Yeah, I remember, what was the movie with Jamie Foxx? I think it was Any Given Sunday. Yeah, that's what it was. Any Given Sunday. We was in the movie theater, and they played the skit, with DMX, my niggas, the niggas that you don't want to try, my niggas. So like all the black people, we bobbed into that shit, and you should have seen the white motherfuckers in the movie theater. They were just looking like, what the fuck? They did not like that shit, yo. They did not like that shit, man. So it's you know what I'm saying? That shit, like what you said earlier, anything that signifies unity amongst us, they don't like that shit. They got this arrogance, man. What's the brother named Bobby E. Wright wrote that Psychopathic Personalities? He's like a fucking psychopath, man. The white man's a psychopath by definition, man. He has this type of personality where it's he if he's not included, it's a problem and shit.
Yeah,
I mean, when you look at European colonialism, he encroaching upon other motherfuckers, man, and adopting their culture and shit.
Yo,
so he's like an intruder and shit.
Check this out, brother James. Now, saying that, in today, after listening to the brother Seti, would you say what he was saying would be in line with a Marcus Garvey thought placed in today?
What did you say? When he used the word nigga?
Yeah, just the word. Do you think that Marcus Garvey would approve of how the clip that I played, the generals of SETI, or the clip that I played, would you think that today would Marcus Garvey approve of that?
I don't know. You know what I'm saying? All I do is I read about Marcus Garvey, read his works. I would have to know his personality. I had to see that man and really seeing how he operate and
All right. Well, maybe let me ask the question like this. Let me ask the question like this, because then you right about that. You're right about that. I'm saying in the terms of what the goals and aims of Marcus Garvey were then, do you think when you heard the clip that we played that the brother in his heart and mind had some of the same aims and goals as a Marcus Garvey today?
Yeah, man, that goes without saying, man. That goes without, of course. I mean, we at a point now, see, things evolve. You know what I'm saying? We're at a point now where, he's making a certain stance. You have a whole history of, like what we were saying before, of what happened and how it is systematically being kept from us. Because truth be told, they sit up there and tell you, the white man sit up there and tell you to forget about the past, right? But really, he's still holding on to that shit more than us. He's still holding on to the fact that he's upset that we got out of chattel slavery. You know what I'm saying? And what I mean by that is that during chattel, for example, he had absolutely no problem living around you. He has absolutely no problem with you working and shit. Now that you get free, you got a hard time finding a job. Every time you try to move with this cracker, you know what I'm saying? These motherfuckers that want to live around this cracker. He don't even want to live around your ass no more. Okay, so it was cool when I was a fucking slave working for your ass. I could live in the outhouse, live right underneath your ass. But now that I'm free from chattel slavery, you don't really want nothing to do with me. And then you create a system designed to prevent me from prospering within the country I helped build. So that means he's bitter from what happened. And he still holds on to that shit to this very day. To this very day, we still disenfranchised by the system of white supremacy because this motherfucker is still bitter that we got free from chattel slavery. But then he'll turn around and tell you to forget about the past. You know what I'm saying? He'll turn around and tell you, don't remember that history. You know what I mean? And we go to the educational system, and we see that he not only says the rhetoric in general conversation, but also he has the power to implement that shit and teach our children, you know what I'm saying, to forget about the past. You know what I'm saying? So he's the really one really trying to hold on to that shit. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of us is miseducated. We don't even acknowledge that shit no more to the extent, as we should. Especially like the Jew.
You're right. You're right about that.
So it's like,
that.
Yeah, you dealing with a motherfucking psychopath, man.
Now, family, like I said, the lines is open, you know what I mean? But we dealing with whether or not the N-word or nigga, what is this? Is this the main crux of our problem? Or right now, at this point in time, to try to focus on one person and their utilization of the word and then use. See, this is my problem with what I seen, and I wrote this, is that it's not a logical fallacy, right? If you have a problem with morals or the moral tone of a community or environment, and you do use a single person to point out that wrongdoing, what you must do when you point that person out is not just point out the wrongdoing, but you must also demonstrate how what they say is detrimental. You can't just say what he's saying is detrimental. You have to show direct affliction to someone else by the utilization of the term. And then the other thing is that it was an appeal to what they call the divine. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because we hold Marcus Garvey, a lot of people in the global African supremacy, RBG, Pan-African or whatever have you, hold Marcus Garvey. We revere Marcus Garvey. We hold him in a high place. Then to use Marcus Garvey was an appeal to the divine. You don't appeal. If we want to argue that something is wrong, we have to argue it on that standpoint alone. We can't appeal to that. Well, Marcus Garvey, would he approve of it? I can't make a stance and say, well, look, my stance is right because Garvey says so. Or, that's the same thing as saying, well, the Bible say this. That's the same thing. This is right. Why? Because the Bible say this. And if you go against this, then you going against the Bible. Or if you go against this, then you going against Garvey. That's not how you lay out your argument. If something is morally wrong, then that's how we lay it out. Like I said, I think that it's something that we need to, it should be discussed. What's really the effect of this? We really need to discuss it. But to deem that we should ostracize and just demonize people who utilize that term That's not going to, you know how many people going to be pushed out? And all them people just going to get together. They just going to come together. They ain't even, they're going to be like, all right, then clear. We street people anyway. They like, we hood niggas anyway. We don't care. We like to be together anyway. That's what it's going to do. It's going to force a divide that ain't needed, not in our community, not today. If we want to divide ourselves, let's divide ourselves on homosexuality. Let's divide ourselves on motherfucking integration. Let's divide ourselves on child molestation. Let's divide on religious or perversion. Let's start dividing. If we're going to divide, let's at least start with homosexuality, integration, and goddamn molestation. Let's start with that when we want to start pushing people out. You advocate rape of black women. Let's start with these people first. Let's really show a real effort to handle them. Then we can start to saying that, you know what, now we show that we're willing to lay down the moral law. But it's hard, when you only want to lay it down on people who already, you pretty much, you should know that that don't work.
Like how? Add on that, Brother Bourne, if it's okay.
Please do.
My problem is that it gives the misrepresentation that the general using the N-word is all that his message is about. The fact of the matter is that now information he drops to his people, which, by the way, shows love because he had to study and get that up in him, right? That's real dedication. And the fact that he loved us enough to try to get us the truth and counteract the Cracker Beast lies, and if he used what Cracker Beast call curse words, because they don't bother me, and if he used the N-word, because that's the way he normally speaks, it has not taken away from the knowledge that this brother has dropped.
That's not.
And how young heads are hearing him. They're not even hearing nigga or motherfucker. They're hearing that truth he dropping, which he getting out the book of black teachers.
True indeed. Now you saying that too. I wanted to say this, that I had the same video, which really shocked me was that video was a clip that I had done played for young cats out here in the neighborhood. Played it for them, let them listen to it. Cats, they in between like 17, 20 to 25. You know what I'm saying? They listen. They listening to it, and after it's over, we start building. We having a discussion. We chatting together. And the conversation is on how we living. How did we get in this situation? Not one time did they even mention that he was saying nigga so much. It was just like, yo, look, man, how the hell? He's saying some real shit. Like, we have been tricked and fooled and ran into this situation right here. And that's what the discussion go to. And so I appreciate that I could bring that to them and then start to build off of that right there, because it gives a context to something that's good. And what made me know that that it worked, but let me know that what I did work, is that not only had I done it, I talked to another brother said he had used the same video to parlay to some other young cats, and they came off the same way. That after they finished watching it, they start to see the system of racism, white supremacy that had been put on us. Because that's where they go to, because they not focused on that. It's just the language that they understand. They hear all the violent points. But, a lot of us only hear what we call the curse words. We don't hear the vital information. Like, I gave that same information to my father. I let my father hear SETI, right? My father listening to him, he like, man, he cussed too much. I'm like, yo, you ain't hearing what he's saying? He like, I'm like, well, he ain't for you. I give him Irritated Genie. He listened to Irritated Genie. I like him. My nurse, I got a nurse who come over here a little older. She listened to him. She like, oh, yeah, I like him. I like him a little more than she likes SETI. And I'm like, I understand. Everybody got their own lane, though. And that's what I'm saying. Everybody got their own lane, man. It's straight up. Everybody not for everybody. You're not going to get 100% of listeners. Straight up. So if we got to spread this work out. I know I hear a couple more people on the line. I see the lines is popping. Like I said, mics is open tonight. If you want to get in, just come in, say your name, and we can do it.
Right there, born. It ain't for everybody. And whenever you bring up the word nigga among black people, if you get you get mixed emotions, oftentimes you got to do with the concept of old and young.
Mm-hmm.
Most of our elders, whether it be pawpaw, granny, you know what I'm saying? The era in which they grew up in, it was a term used by enemies on a daily basis, and it was, you know, it was something that was degrading. For this generation, if you find people who don't have a problem with it, oftentimes they didn't grow up in that era. But let's be real. I'm listening to discussion. The word nigga existed during the time of Marcus Garvey, but for niggas to see, if you're looking for a fucking hole, you're going to find one. If you're looking for any way possible to find out why we not getting along, you're going to find one. But if you look for one common goal, one common thing we can agree on, and that's the cracker, now we got something to build on. One thing that you face when you're living in a dominated society is the power of definition. The terms that you want to endear yourself with is even though it's very personal, it's something of identity, it's still dictated and determined by the motherfuckers who rule over you. You see what I'm saying? So like Brother James was saying earlier, on one hand, crackers don't give a fuck how we use the word. Long as we use the word in a divide and conquer mechanism, they ain't got no problem with it. But once niggas start unifying, then my niggas, all my niggas gonna get it hard, cracker have a problem with it because, like Brother James said, it's a sign of unity. You see what I'm saying? So it's really how you use it in this time. You know what I mean? Most motherfuckers, you don't hear crackers making the issue. Why are black people running my car into the Negroes? No, house niggas is looking for that. House niggas who've been taught to enrich themselves with European language. Taught them to respect European language. You know, I like listening to old Black Panthers in the 70s. That's how they talk. They talk like SETI. Fuck the man. Fuck the system. They represented an educated side of their community, but they were educated not in the terms of how they use flowery words. It's kind of crazy because I got linguistic classes called my final quarter and whatnot, right? And we going over use of linguists. And the cracker, she Russian, but I respect her as a linguist because she speaks like 5 different languages fluently. Bitch went from speaking Russian to Spanish to Greek fluently. You see what I'm saying? And she asked the question, would you consider an individual a fluent speaker in the language if they can, 1, engage in common everyday talk, or 2, engage in flowery talk? I rolled my hand and said 1, common everyday talk, basic talk. If you can understand, good morning, I'm hungry, you good to go. But if you talking in flowery words, I know motherfuckers every day who use flowery words but don't know what the fuck they saying. You see what I'm saying? So to some extent, we get caught up in labeling ourselves on a European type of paradigm. And by doing so, we go inward on the history. I ain't got a problem with it because it has a history in America, especially for the black man in America.
Right.
For individuals who don't want to bring that word up or got a problem with it, they want to dissect a piece of human history. American history.
Like I said, the lines is open, but the lines, and one thing that the brother said, though, I'd like y'all to know is if you tuned in and you just came in through the talk show or something, and you happen to be a Tamil, a white man, cracker, the beast, or whatever you want to call it, this conversation is not for you. If you're listening in and we catch you, we'll at least kick you out the chat room and all that. But this conversation is not for you. Your inquiry is not needed, and your thoughts are unimportant right now.
And your presence is unwanted, beast.
Exactly. So now the lines is open, no family. If anybody want to come in and chime in right now, on the thought on this word and where we should be headed to with this, and whether or not it's a distraction or not, come on in, add on. You think Garvey would approve?
Black Power.
Black Power.
This is Brother Baker.
What's going on, Brother Baker?
How you feel, sir? I'm good. I am an older gentleman, and I understand the fact, and I love that piece that you put out, and I heard it yesterday. And if we as older people or elders don't get to start speaking the same language that this young generation is speaking, we're gonna get left behind. Because the thing that the best part I liked about it is when the brother said, "Fuck you, motherfucker."
Right.
Because it's our language. It's what we do. And if a white boy decide that he's gonna be brave enough to say that shit to him, I'd probably knock his fucking head off.
Love, brother.
Black Power. And thank you very much, Brother Bacon, for coming in. Yeah, definitely. Thank you for coming in with that. Words from the elder. You know, we always respect words from those who, got a couple years on us and seen a couple things, you know what I mean, to come in and give us a little bit of clarity.
Okay.
What's good, family? This Sister Makia, man. I'm gonna tell you how I feel. Genie, he really pissing me off with it to the point to where I don't even want to listen to him no more. And that's messed up because he have things that I like to hear too from him. But when you have character flaws, turn me off. And you know what I'm saying? Right now he acting like one of them church people who like to pick and choose what they want to follow from out the Bible. You know what I'm saying? Marcus Garvey didn't preach division, but this nigga here, he trying to divide, you know what I'm saying, the awake community behind a bullshit-ass word that don't have nothing to do with our struggle.
Yeah.
He got one more motherfucking post to put up about saying I'm an unfriend. And that's for real. I'm done. Black
Power, my queen.
Black Power.
Black Power.
And see, and this is exactly what I was saying. You know, I was like, yo, listen, man, the thing that this is doing is just making a divide because you got go-hards on two sides. You got go-hards who rock with SETI, you got go-hards who rock with Genie, and you got people like me who I'm in between. I like both of y'all brothers, but I'm not going to deal in this situation where we're going to listen, man. I think it's something personal. I listen to the show. I think it's a personal beef. I don't think that it should be something that it should be put out as a dividing point inside the RBG, the new African community. We just forming this shit.
Man.
God damn, how old is this? We just start trying to get our shit together again, man. God damn, we had a long-ass fuck-up, man. We had a long fuck-up. It's probably about 2007, 2010. I'd say 2010 maybe. We started to really just like feel like, yo, man, we about our shit. We really about our African shit, y'all. Look, this ain't a fluke. We really serious, and then we just kept it growing. And now, look, man, we don't want this shit to turn over like this. Not now. Not now. We got African communities popping up everywhere, homeschools popping up everywhere, people listening to both brothers on both sides, getting the information. People who don't even, they like, I don't know if I like that brother, but I'm going to listen to him because I don't know if I like this, but I wouldn't even be really listening to Genie if I wasn't rocking with SETI.
Right.
That's real shit. That's real shit. That's real shit. I was listening to SETI first, and I was listening to some of the things that he was saying, and because you look at the playlist, right, what happens is if you want a playlist, sometimes other people's videos pop up. So I think maybe a feminization of the black man or something like that pop up. And I go over here and check that. Like, oh, what's this? And I like the brother because I can listen to him. I can listen to him. I'm in an age range where, like, I'm like, all right, I went to college for 2 years. I can grasp both sides of the situation. So I'm like, all right, he got some good information. Like, yo, the shit is on point. Woo, woo, woo. Then I heard that he was, I heard the Homeland Security thing. I went and checked him on that. Boom, boom, boom. Got the information. Got online. Checked it clean. I said, all right, then. Everything cool on that right there. I don't got no problems with how you work. But now I'm like, yo, we can't divide on this. We can't divide on this, though. You know what I'm saying? And whatever, I don't really know what Seti had done to really provoke this right here. So that's when the thing that's going on is like, you know, you see the picture from one side. So that's why I even spoke on the post that, listen, I think that this is something between y'all two that need to go in the back, but since it's going on for so long, that I got to at least speak on it because I didn't want to speak on it at all. I wouldn't, and the only reason I'm speaking on it today is because I spoke on it on the post. I done seen this shit running for like the last 2 weeks easy. Maybe 3 weeks. I was just like, yo, I'm just trying to stay neutral. Because I'm like, this some bullshit to me. I'm like, yo, this some bullshit. It felt personal because I listened to the show that said that they was related, like they had once upon a time been related, a shared family.
Now you gotta keep 100. I'm not familiar at all with this contention because once again, I ain't got no motherfucking Facebook, and the whole shit for Facebook regarding us is to keep that confusion up. You see what I'm saying? But I'll say one thing in regards to Genie and Seti, wasn't nobody screaming Africa until Seti got on the scene for our generation. Oh, no. Genie came late. So I'm not going to sit here, I'm not going to divide it to and say who's greater, but Seti is relevant, and I'm going to leave it at that.
Black power. Power.
And you know, and that's the thing is that we want everybody to be honest, just honest and open, man. That's why we love each other as black people, man. We Africans first, second, and third over here on Feet on the Ground. So
why do I say that? The sister said something earlier. Prior to SETI, niggas was hiding behind religious organizations in regards to their truth and sprinkling a little bit of African history there, here and there. But they mainly had an agenda to keep their religious organization as the prime theme to convince us of that's what we need for our liberation. Check?
Yeah. Right.
Whether it was Muslim, whether it was Christian, they speak a little bit on the greatness, but it was under the facade of some type of religious organization. Say they want to open the curtain on all them motherfuckers and show that the African predates all them motherfuckers. Even with the derogatory use of the word nigga, if you want to use it in that fashion right now. That in regards to our history, it falls pale in comparison. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. You know, you're saying that, you know, people been on the scene, but that's the one thing, like you said about Seti, man, is that, you know, he did something. He sparked the fire in the people that nobody else sees.
What I'm saying is, brother, a pastor, an imam, they got parameters they can't pass. You see what I'm saying? So you got to fall in line with, for example, a pastor or imam who don't know African history would have a discussion primarily on the use of the nigga word. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Damn, nigga, you don't know African history. Oh, okay, that's why you focus so much attention on how we used to. You so caught up in how we live now and what's our condition now, because you have no idea what the fuck our history was like or our condition was like pre-colonial, pre-European, motherfucker. So if someone SETI bring you the word Negro, and the word Negus is being used in Ethiopia pre-colonial, the Negro mind can't fathom that. He what? Right? And one genius that African people have is we take negative stereotypes and use it to make them positive. We use it for positive reconstruction to some extent. Where the word nigga was used, we made it a term of endearment. You see what I'm saying? Because we know, how is it that we know that we and the cracker are complete polar opposites? So if he tell you the word nigger means ignorant, and the black man do his homework and tell you that one time the word and still used today, and I asked the Ethiopian about the word Cabris Negus, and it's expressed in a foreign language and used in the term of endearment and royalty, your slave mind can't fathom that notion because your motherfucking teachers passed the bacon Imam pork chop, Imam Camel, who don't know African history. Who can only tell you, man, shit been going on the way it's been going on this time, man, and we shouldn't be calling each other niggas, because you don't know history, nigga.
Mm-hmm.
And when you tell history, you're going to start off in the Bible, you're going to say in the beginning, we were created in sin, and we shouldn't be calling each other nigga. You're going to come up with every religious condemnation you can to say why we shouldn't use the verb, but you can't give me no solid historical facts on the verb. I'm in the store the other day. I had this talk at Cal State San Bernardino. They asked me to come up and make a round, brother, speak on the word nigga. And be, you know, they had many events before this Black History Month, but I didn't want to sound like a typical nigga saying we shouldn't use it and it's a, you know, represents slavery. I put it in the context of me and my dad was in the store one day, and my dad, he come from the older generation, so he don't like the word because he was fighting crackers, you know what I'm saying? So he don't like the word because it go back to his history. But we in the store. Now I watch when I use it, but when I do use it, he know how I'm using it. So he hearing somebody recklessly, hey my nigga, whoa, whoa, whoa. He turn around, it's two Asians talking to one another, right? So I start laughing, right? I'm looking at Pops. Now, how is it that in terms of the social stratification, in terms of the social pole, niggas is at the bottom. But why is it that people who, minorities, who not white, who not black, whenever they want to identify with something that's rebellious against the power structure that be, they're just being the nigga. So I made the comment and said, I have a problem with niggas who not white and who not black who use the word, who have no historical reference to the word. Why they using it? If a white man call me a nigga, I know why he using it. He got a history, goddammit. Why the Mexican using it? Why the Asian using it? Why the Arab using it? Why the Puerto Rican using it? That's what why are they using the word and they don't even align it all with black power? And I'm going to leave it at that. We can chew that shit up.
Black power.
Black power.
Like I said, family, lines is open, brother. Victor Rollins just laid it down, you know, and that is something to be said. Yeah. You know, is that how these other things come up inside the community and they take hold and use the word as though that they got history with it and like we got some type of bond. Brother boy, you seen that Rikers Island shit I see on the Hangouts, right? Mm-hmm. Now you see the Puerto Rican nigga Pistol Pete, the nigga that was from Terror Squad, right? Now you heard this nigga every other word he's saying is my nigga this, my nigga that. I mean, the way the nigga had his line up, the way he dressing, straight nigga. But when the motherfucking politics hit the wall, nigga, and we confined, and we in solitary confinement, we in chief general population, what that nigga say? I had to throw that Puerto Rican flag in the air and punch any black nigga that's around me. Everybody, right? Yeah. P.D. Guns. What's his name? P.D. something.
Yeah, in the projects, like, man, this nigga, he said next to a dark skin brother, he like, man, this nigga, he said, hey, man, this nigga goes to the sandbox. But if we locked up in the pen, I'm gonna have to be with my people, we gotta be with his people. The nigga didn't make it like that. Huh? The nigga didn't choose that. You chose that. So Puerto Ricans couldn't be among me in public saying my nigga this, my nigga that, because, hold on, my niggas fuck with me. My niggas go down with the ship. Nigga, when the ship go down, your ass gonna be over there with them Spanish-speaking motherfuckers, homie.
Now, you're right about that. And he laid that out perfectly for us to see how they use that and how, regardless to whom or what, that they really against us. Because he laid that out plainly that, listen, man, when it was time when he was banging, no matter what, like you say, I grew up with my men. But he was like, yo, I had to go in the middle of the yard, lay that Puerto Rican flag down, and cut everything black.
Now, this nigga identifies with being a nigga, but the politics and pressure among his own people are beyond him as an individual. You see what I'm saying? That he got to ride. So they more group-minded than we are. Mm-hmm. They more group-minded on politics that fall in line with identifying with crackers. Mm-hmm. And they pick and choose, like this was saying, when it benefit them. If he wants to appear to be street savvy, he wants some credibility. Yes, nigga this, nigga that. But let's be real, nigga. If you a real nigga, you would say, fuck that. This my nigga in the sandbox, in the pen, and not, nigga. And this nigga's in the pen like that. Yeah. who go beyond the politics, especially like in California. You know what I'm saying? In California, it's man though, nigga. It's everything against us when we go in jail. Feel me? Asians against us, Paisans, Southsiders, and Koreans. You know, they pressured too by Europeans. So on one hand, the subconscious mind when you know, for the little Korean boy, for the little Puerto Rican, and their subconscious mind when they're tired of dealing with the pressure of trying to assimilate with being European because they got the same hair texture. They could almost pass, but they got a little ethnicity issue they're trying to curve. And when they get tired of that and tired of assimilating, they want to identify themselves with the nigga, but they can't bear the weight of being a nigga. Not one day. So it's convenient for them. It's like biracial motherfuckers. Yeah. They pick and choose when they want to be biracial. You know, I'm a nigga today, but I'm white.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? We using the word ain't doing more harm than other motherfuckers using the word to get close to us, to get in our politics.
Mm-hmm. So it seems like the contention in the room right now is that this is more of a distraction than if anything we're gonna have to keep this word on the table. Because as I said, a nigga defines a victim of racism or white supremacy. It's all different type of shit. You know what I'm saying? And so we can't lose sight of what's going on. Is that, as Brother James said earlier, we gotta see how is the white man reacting to this, because he was the one who first came out with the "Don't Say Nigga" campaign. You know what I mean? And not to saying that the brother is on the white man "Don't Say Nigga" campaign. It might be that he really think that it's a way to morally clean us up and get us straight. But as I said, you cannot build attacks. You can't build that type of argument that we need to morally be correct and not say this word by ad hominem attack.
Well, I say this too, right? Remember there was a time, okay, for every myth or stereotype, there's a little half-truth to it. So even the urban legend, we know it ain't no urban legend. We know long time ago it was real. Like my daddy time. If you made a mistake and you wasn't black and you called a black man a nigga, that was your ass whipping, right?
Mm-hmm.
I see motherfuckers who not black and white using, who said my niggas really testing those waters in terms of seeing if these niggas gonna rebel. I use it among, I got a couple, I ain't gonna call my friends, but classmates who white. And I gotta associate with them because I see them on a regular basis, and I may call them nigga. I'm setting their ass up. The minute that motherfucker call me nigga or refer to the nigga or try to say, I'm slapping the shit out of them. So I said among them to set their ass up how I was taught. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm waiting for you to say, I'm waiting for that nigga to get comfortable and call me nigga. I'm gonna slap him so quick, he don't know where it came from. He'll be like, what the fuck just happened? Because you didn't say it because you identify yourself as being a nigga. You said it to see if you can get away with sitting in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
So before you even see my reaction, I'm going to slap you. Before you even get to see, how my eyebrows raised up, if I'm turning blush, I ain't turning blush, I ain't a cracker. I'm going to slap you. I'm going to be looking right in your eye when I slap the shit out you. If you make me repeat myself, I might slap you again. So I've been using this one boy for like a year and a half. He ain't taking the bait. He know what's up. I'm making right. He's very. When he uses the word nigga, he gives me a funny look like he wants me to say it, but I dare not. You know what I'm saying? You better not, motherfucker.
Black Power, brothers. Black Power. This sister, Goddess. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, indeed. Who is that? What's your name again?
Monumental Goddess. I believe we friends online. I'm friends with a couple of people that listen to your show often.
All right, come on in.
I don't like the division part of it either. You know, it's to each his own. Who want to say nigga, who don't want to say nigga. You know, it ain't no age barrier. I know old schools that say it and old schools that don't say it. I know young schools that say it and young schools that do say it. You know, I don't like the way that he trying to put my brother Seti down from the pedestal that he think he taking him down. You know, it seems to me that they're trying to.
he's trying to make it some type of, we should be either on this side with him or over on that side with Seti. And that's the part that that's the part I'll try to steer away from. I don't like that part because I feel like you're trying to make somebody not say the word nigga, and if we don't, what? We on punishment? What? We ain't down for the cause enough? Or, you know, it's just that don't seem fair to me. And to me, Seti, the way he grabs the people is the way he grabbed the people. Like the brother said, if I wouldn't even knew about Jeannie if I wouldn't have been listening to Seti, because I cuss, I say nigga, my homies do, my kids been listening to it, and they don't do it and don't respect people. They know when to say and what to say. You know what I'm saying? It's all about how you represent yourself. You know when to say it and how to respect your elders and when not to say it or what have you. But, you know, you can't tell nobody not to say something and that they ain't a Garveyite or they not RBG or they don't believe in what Marcus Garvey say. This is a whole different era, and we have been niggas. And, you know, to me, it's like it's the only thing that we can say. And if a white motherfucker say it to us, we'll bust their motherfucking head, and they get that fear in their heart if they say it out their mouth, and they know that. And I don't want him to take that away from us. You know what I'm saying? Because they can say that to us, and they be getting ready to run as soon as they say it. And I still like the fact that we can do that. But when we say it amongst each other, it's cool, it's endearing, and it's loving. You know what I'm saying? But when they say it, they better raise up or run up because we about to jump. You know what I'm saying, brothers and sisters? Black power. Black power.
Yeah, Queen, black power to that.
Black power.
And you said what I wanted to say. That sounded like it sounded better than how I was saying it. Because that's exactly how I feel. It's a divide that's unneeded.
Yeah, it's a distraction, yo. And I'm like, we don't got time for that. We don't got time for that. I wish the man that just got shot in the back, I wish he was hollering, nigga, come help me, niggas. My niggas, where y'all at, my niggas? Shit. You know what I'm saying? Who
was it that was? I gotta say, who was it really that was taking a shot at the brother Seti? Who was it? Was this average nigga commenting on yo?
It's anybody that is. They take it teams, yo. It's like a team. I feel like we got a scoreboard or some shit.
It's big, man. It's like yo, this is what it is. It's like Irritated Genie got a crew, and then Seti got a side. And then there's people in between who just arguing or beat on both sides, right?
Right.
So they hyping it up. So when you get the posts out, what you get is you get a bunch of the sideline players who don't understand. Like, this my thing is that they got too much history for me to be even trying to. I'm like, yo, hold up, man. Don't bring this here because y'all got enough history to bring that back door. I said, go box it out, man. Y'all go put on a pair of gloves, go box it out.
And, Brother Bone, I'd like to say something. I have yet to see a post on Facebook with Seti as calling Jeannie out by name, telling people not to fuck with him. You know, seen that yet.
I agree, too, sister. I have not either. He has been very humble, very, just low-key, like this is some bullshit.
It's some bullshit.
All you got is missing one name that bridges the gap between both of them. Both of them love Khaled. And how does Khaled feel about the word nigga?
How do you feel?
Dr. Ben, now we were talking about Dr. Ben earlier. Dr. Ben said he couldn't get right, man. He couldn't get the people inside the place unless he was saying some motherfuckers and some niggas in there, man. He had to add it in to talk the language of the people in order for the people to listen.
Exactly.
Ashe.
Does the Camille remind me of that?
When Brother said he came out, if you listen to him, how he gives his background, he's been dealing with youth. So when you deal with youth and you deal with people your age, you have different personalities how you deal with them, right? When you deal with youth, when you come up speaking in big words and elegance, that's before it even get to a 20-minute discussion, the youth already putting you in the categories. This nigga trying to tell me something I don't want to hear. These niggas trying to sound like white folks. They're in a state of rebellion. They're at the early age fighting assimilation and acculturation. You see what I'm saying? So instead he's talking, he's speaking in what they would call a vulgar tone, while all niggas turning down, not all of them, I ain't gonna say all of them, young niggas turning up. Oh, okay, who's this brother right here? And he's using that type of language, and he knows the fuck he's talking about. And that's really, you know,
yeah, that's what
motherfuckers should take. You feel me? Youngster, his message is for rebellious youngsters, and it go back in line with that line that Kendrick Lamar took off Tupac when Tupac said, in America, a black man only has 5 years to exhibit strength and rebellion. And it's mainly your teens. So, you know, while you're fighting, you young. And he said that you rarely find 30-year-olds fighting and talking back. And I started laughing because I'm a child of Tupac. I'm 30. And when you look at this generation, all of us on this line mainly are over 30. We are X generations of Tupac who made it. Because oftentimes, that's the avenue we connect on. Because I know when I'm out doing business in my transactions and I meet motherfuckers, they either way younger than me or way older than me. And, my generation is like motherfuckers is missing out here. Niggas like kidnapping, held for ransom. Motherfuckers is missing out here. Whole generation. So we them group of 30-year-old rebels who really ain't shit. Most of us on this line, nigga ain't house niggas, and really ain't lost that rebellious spirit. In fact, when Tupac said that 5 years, we in our 15th year, still talking shit, still rioting, and we still got influence on the youth. See, said he got a youthful appearance, but said he an older nigga. Said he a real 80s baby. You see what I'm saying? In terms of when he grew up, so he know the nigga. He know how to talk around certain groups, and he know who gonna be there listening, and he know who not. He know who just there to support anything that sounds good, that's not raising eyebrows, anything that sounds good, that's uplifting, but not, promoting too much rebellion that crackers of, that type of shit, man.
Brother Minkaran, one of the things that you did mention though is how said he speak to the mind of the youth. And I was saying earlier, man, it's just that you gotta always be mindful of who you talking to. And as you said, once you start to turn on, you start to talk to them, and you immediately sound like you gonna preach to them. You can't reach them. You can't reach them. Once you want to act like you don't speak the regular language. See, because there's two different languages out here. Now you got the language of the people, and then you got the language that you use when you're dealing with them peoples. Now you either go, when you with your people, you got to use your people language, man. You got to carry into that lane, because that's the only thing that open up their heart. Because they know that you're speaking directly to them. And you're not talking to them, you're talking for them. And as you said, when you can give them information then. Because if you saying, like the same way that said he come off, when you talking to them like that and you got information that's concise, they can check that. And they know you on point when you telling them. You can, listen, man, look. Once I could remember a song I said in Hey Rude, right? I can remember that. I can remember Amen, Amanat, Nunat, Ket, Who Ket, you know what I'm saying? Knew what an unk was and all that shit, right? And I could sit there and talk to a young, you know what I'm saying, the young dude and have my unk on and be just talking to him, chopping it up with him on some real shit and be like, yo, you see this fucking unk right here, B? This what the fuck this shit stand for, son. You know what I'm saying? And break down the science to them, and give them the elements that go behind everything. They be, like they feel like I can do that too. And you let them know that, look, you can do, look, man, this is where you get this information from. This is who we are. And when you talk to them in their language, they know that they could do that same shit too. And that's why you got to talk to them like that. You know what I mean? It's only for a certain few to talk to the people like that. It ain't for everybody. It ain't for everybody. Everybody got their own language. Like, you can't give certain shit to certain people, man. They not going to listen to it, period. So what we going to do? We going to leave you to the side who ain't going to listen to it? Let me read them.
So, y'all feel that this is divisive? How do y'all feel about this discussion?
Say that again, Sister Corinne.
Do you feel that Jeannie bringing up the general uses of the word, the N-word, and our people that use it, do you feel this is a valid argument, or is this a point of division? Is this divisive?
Nah. I don't think it's a valid argument. Like I said, they got two logical fallacies in the argument. Read the post, there's two logical fallacies. The first one is ad hominem, which is the attack on SETI, and the other one is the appeal to heaven, which is an appeal to divinity. We're appealing to everybody's thought of Marcus Garvey and how we feel about him, being that he wouldn't agree with it, so I got to be right because he wouldn't agree with it. You know what I'm saying? And so that puts you on the side. That's not a logical fallacy. That is a logical fallacy. You can't run. You can't. That's not a good argument. You can't argue with people on that, because that's the same thing like saying, "Yo, God said I'm right because God agreed with it." You know what I mean? And you can't argue like that. You know what I mean? And there was no way he didn't show that there was a harm. Like, he got to show that it was harm, because before then he asked the question with the N-word. If the N-word was, if you've never heard the N-word again, would it improve your quality of life? I'm like, what is that?
Okay, that's that bullshit.
So don't use the word. It's going to some way have an impact on your quality of life.
Exactly, because it's
niggas use that type of psychology. Like, if you don't give, you can escape from your own hell. All you have to do is just teleport. Have your, you know what I'm saying? Your mental trance projections and so forth and whatnot. You see what I'm saying? And, because we use the word, that's why we in the same predicament we in now, brother. You know what I'm saying? Basically, what I'm saying is, you got $5. Nigga, you trying to sell me something. I'm going to use Dr. Clark on this one. What the fuck is a black conservative? Dr. Clark grew up in the era when the whole world, to some extent, was conservative. When you had niggas when you could make a hustle polishing shoes, because the social construction was that men didn't wear sneakers, they wore hard-bottom shoes, they wore slacks and a tie. Women didn't wear pants, they wore dresses. That was a strictly conservative time, right? In 2015, 100 years after Garvey, our niggas still trying to be conservative. And I'm going to ask a question Dr. Clark said. What does a black conservative conserve, other than they naive, other naivete? We tried that shit. See, niggas don't know history. I keep using this term. Well, we ain't even got to go far Africa. Look at the motherfucking plight of the Negro in America. We've been through every motherfucking change. From the cotton plow to the car to the airplane. We've tried everything. Nigga was still being used. And when you don't know history, you assume that the condition we in now are due to us having a bad morality and the fact that we don't think like white folks, man. We don't talk like white folks. We don't, if we didn't cuss and so forth. And that shows that you have a respect for a language that was given to you by the conqueror.
That's how.
Right.
Big F.O.G, family.
Big F.O.G, what's going on, brother Hero?
It's all raw, family. Tuning in kind of late, but some of y'all go in. That was a jewel you just dropped right there, family. I'm going to ask you to repeat that shit one more time. That was real.
Why do you why are we enduring and respecting the language of a conqueror that was given to us by the conqueror? And it's really, 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 really what I look at that is being, you know, you got micro social systems, brother born that the cracker used, and a lot of them are used to police the people. That's where they use the way we talk, how we should talk right. That's something that was enforced in etiquette in terms of assimilating us. That was something first used. Right. The first motherfucking experience was Native Americans. They couldn't speak a native tongue. The church ordained this. The nuns was popping the youngsters for speaking Nawa, for speaking native tongue, right? Do you think, do you think to this day they have a fallen out respect for the language that was given to them? To some extent, no. They even have contentions with motherfucking other Indian minorities who speak more proper than them. You see what I'm making? This is used to police motherfuckers. The people who speak the best English seem to be mostly in bed with the enemy to some extent, or have contact with the enemy to some extent because they have to if they learn the language and speaking it so frequently. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. I speak okay English because I deal with crackers. But I know how Europeans, when you go to school and you learn shit, the real thing they use is to divide and conquer. So when you go back to your community, you learn all these new words and you speaking with these new words, and motherfuckers know what you're talking about. So I'm already a natural linguist. I speak Ebonics and I speak primitive cracker English that was given to me over the years.
Mm-hmm. Because
different around my people and I talk different around y'all. You know what I mean? Around them.
I think the sister was saying something.
Yeah, go ahead, Queen.
What he said just brings to mind what Dr. You use the cracker beat as your sin. Judge yourself against is a sign of insanity. And Dr. Khalid Muhammad, I heard in the lecture say that he used curse words because the cracker beat said it was bad. Anything the cracker beat say is bad got to be good. And that was the
So what happened?
Listen, right? Everybody line open, so I want to say this to everybody that your lines are unmuted. If you're not speaking, please make sure that you mute your line. If you got any noise going on in the background, we allow you to talk with no problem, but just make sure that your lines is muted until you want to say something. So, yeah, I think it's undue division, Sister Camille. Undue division. I think it's more of the argument isn't formulated correctly for me to even give it a look at.
I mean,
Well, I knew what it was going to do. It would make more problems than anything.
like I said, I respect Jeannie. I respect his work. And I definitely respect the general. And nobody's going to make me choose who I decide to respect based upon what I feel are their contributions to IBB48, because you got a personal problem with. And I don't think, like you said, that's something for if you got love for your people, if you have a problem with another African, you go on one-on-one in private and you deal with that shit. But to make people turn against the general who has given his life to IBB48, that's problematic for me.
All I'm going to say, that's wild. That's wild. Couldn't get me to do it,
ain't gonna happen, man.
Yeah, man, like the consensus in the room, it is what it is, man. Like most of us, even if we don't use the term, it's just that we're not agreeable with how you're setting this up on one man right now. This is all it is that we can't do this, and that word alone is not what's affecting Beautiful Hoye, because I know people who ain't using it. Look, in Africa right now, right? There's a lot of places where people don't use that term, but they sure enough act like it.
That's how.
I would say it like this, yo. If you came to me personally and told me that the word made you feel uncomfortable and to not to use it around you, then, maybe we could reach some type of compromise. But if you're going to judge me, if you're going to give me a label or judge me by the fact that I choose to say the word nigga, and then you're going to say that if I use nigga, that I'm less of an African or my black power ain't 100%, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to look at you kind of strange, you know what I'm saying?
That's how.
I heard the Queen say something that really I didn't come in from the beginning, so I really don't know the concept of the title or what's on the table right now. But who's trying to make who choose sides between the general and I'm gonna say that it's probably Genie or something. I don't know. But who's trying to make who?
Genie got a push on what he called moral degeneracy. And the first stop on it is setting, because of some interactions that they have from past years. And they've had little words back and forth. Now this push is on him. And the thing is this, is that it's putting the people to saying, listen, where do you stand with the N-word? Where do you stand with negative? Are you on the side with me and Garvey? Or are you on the side of Uncle Sam and Slaughterhouse City?
Oh, that's crazy, that motherfucker, man. How you going to even associate the two?
Saying that. No, hold on, listen, right here. I'm only saying that because what happened was he put a picture up and said, if you say nigga, you with Uncle Sam. If you don't, you with Garvey. So now they're looking at it in a totality now after having seen a couple of them together after the same type of thing. That you the problem, then we ain't coming up. And I don't think I think that's an unfair assessment. And as I said, I think it was more of a personal attack, because not inside of the post, he didn't display how there was some harm being created by how said he used the term nigga.
No, I don't know the whole story, so we'll speak on that later. I'm kind of late to the party and shit, so I ain't trying to just make the party stop and try to get the fill in and shit, and then try to go back to the party and shit. I know that they go rock off. I'm gonna just wait. But I am gonna say that when shit like that crack off, for me, I would go straight to the source. I would hit both of them up. You know what I'm saying? And see, is it really coming from them? Because, that's some real division type shit right there you talking about. You know what I'm saying? You giving people an option where it's like, look, it's either you fuck with me.
It's coming from, listen, they putting this shit is like, the world is social media. So if you go on right now, and you go on the Sun timeline, you'll see the posts. You'll see all the posts. You'll see them. And you'll see exactly what they're saying.
Yeah, but we don't know who that is. That could be anybody,
No,
that's
him.
like where I'm coming from.
I talked to him. I know that's him. That's his account. That's him. I know that's Irritated Genie account. So I know what he's putting out. That's what he's putting out. He spoke on it on his show. I know that's what he's putting out.
Well, if it's like that, then, all said and done, you pretty much play a card for me. Hey, I'm not going to turn my back on the person that woke me up. I'm not going to turn my back on the person that dug inside of me and pulled that African warrior spirit out in the hands for somebody else that's seem to be trying to put their own personal twist and agenda on the game. Now, I got much love and respect for both of them, but if I had to choose one or the other, I got to stick with the general. I can't turn my back on that, yo.
Thank you, Brother Hebrew, for again furthering my point on how divisive this is. Thank you very much, because you just, because it's like, yo, now, I got to choose a side. All right, then, boom. Fine. Now, this is what it got to be. Well, who want to do that when we ain't even built a large enough community to choose sides yet? What happened?
That's some Asian type shit. That's real. If that title didn't stick before, it stick now. You know what I'm saying? I mean, in so many ways. Because somebody that's for their people ain't gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? How you gonna draw the line? Because you're two leaders that have two different opinions or agendas. You know what I'm saying? Why can't both of you be leaders and lead the people based on whatever your war strategy is to attack white supremacy? Why is it now that we can't coexist? That shit like Crips and Bloods now, you know what I'm saying? We similar and we damn near the same, but because of one little flaw or whatever that we have a disagreement on, it's fuck you because you're not 100% that. That's crazy, yo. That's an agenda, man. You know what I'm saying? Because ain't nobody that's 100% got love in their heart for their people going to even, you know what I'm saying, fall to that. They're going to be against that. And be like, get the fuck out of here with that. I ain't even trying to hear that. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I got the whole story, and it kind of seemed like I kind of interrupted.
No, bro. You know the
I don't think.
The whole theme of everything is that, this is when you put this type of division up right here, it only hurts. And it hurts self. It's going to hurt everybody else to try to draw a line in the sand like that. When you draw a line in the sand like that, you got to remember that you're standing over there on that other side. And you don't want the line to start to get a big divide where you can't bridge the gap. And so what will end up happening at the end of the day is that if the divide comes, there are those who will hug together, and there are other people who will hug together. There's enough people. There's enough for every thought. For all the thoughts, there's enough people for every thought.
You got to ask the question, all right? In 2015, it's a radical move to promote don't say nigga movement. That's a radical move in 2015. I think niggas should draw a line in the sand, but it shouldn't be on micro shit, on small shit. The smallest niggas, because
exactly. No, that's what I mean. I mean that now you don't want to draw the line in the sand on niggas. On the N word, that's what you don't want to draw the line in the sand on that.
Yeah, and to promote a culture that's going to not use the word in 2015, it's late. So it's going to be hard. It's going to be radical. Let's be real. We be holding shows. I've been on venues for niggas on shows who trying to promote niggas not saying the word. And that's hard on just trying to check themselves. You see what I'm saying? That's radical. Especially when you don't back it up with no solid platform, no 10-point program. I know niggas who was in the Black Panther Party saying the word nigga but had a 10-point program on Muslim babies and was African centered before you came out, nigga. I'm gonna talk in third person. Talk to him in third person. You know what I'm saying? But you know, you kind of, you know, once you acquire new knowledge, oftentimes you get you can get sidestepped. And you can, you know, the worst that you can assume is that you came up with a new idea. Man, there's so many black people suffering this crackers oppression. You may be reincarnating the spirit of another African with the same idea. So don't ever think that you coming up with something that's original to some extent. You see what I'm saying? To some extent, I would say in the 1900s, there probably was a say no nigga word campaign. Did it work? It's 2015 and we still having an argument.
I don't have no problem with it. If I thought that's where the brother was coming from with it. But the same with the N-word right now is a personal attack against the general sense. And also, I'm going to say those that say they RBG. It's person took the person, now it's the N-word, it's smoking weed. I mean, come on. Why are you trying to turn the people against the general? What is going on here?
I'll say this. I'm more individual, and I know my statement and my voice, you know, what I'm going to say won't make a difference, but I do know that Jeannie is supposed to be family with us. You know what I'm saying? Because we rock out with Jeannie over there on World Horizons or whatever. So I'm quite sure Jeannie will either get wind of this or he'll hear this. We know the general family first and foremost. So I'm going to say to both of y'all, if y'all get wind of this your family. You know what I'm saying? The whole squad here. This family Rahe Wu talking to both of y'all. Whatever the hell both of y'all got against each other, let that shit go. And if it's serious to that point, both of y'all meet up, and however y'all choose to let that aggression out between each other out, do that shit between the two of y'all behind closed doors. Because the shit that's going on right now, this shit ain't going to benefit nobody. It ain't going to benefit the family. And if what I heard is correct, if you put out a propaganda saying that if you choose the general is anti-Garvey, it's kind of hard for me to even swallow the pill that you said that or did that. You know what I'm saying? That's like, yo, the disrespect of that right there is not only towards the general, if that's your target, but that's disrespect towards not only Marcus Garvey, but the whole entire family. Because now you got the family looking at each other in a fucked up predicament with a fucked up choice, saying that those that go one way are anti-Garvey, so then that will make you anti-RBG. That will make you anti-everything that has been put down in a foundation. And I know you have to know that because you are a highly intelligent and well-looked-upon individual and the leader of the community, man. So whatever y'all got going on, y'all really need to get together one-on-one and kill that shit or figure out what y'all really are going to do with this shit, because this shit is getting stupid. And it might not even be at the hands of y'all, but those that are on the outside that's going to carry this shit on is only going to make it worse. So, you know, y'all really need to get together and do something on that. And that's Black Power, yo. And that's like ASAP. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I got to put this in there, man, because this seemed to be a history that nobody been getting more slander than the general. One thing I noticed, when you look at any revolutionary who got to love his people, the first attack be on their character. And how it's somehow not in tune with the status quo. So it ain't the fact that he waking up these minds, he dealing with the youth. It's how he talk. That's, you know what I mean? Every time, every so-called debate that was trying against the general, it was never centered around the information. Really, it was centered around his character. You ever notice that?
Ashe.
Whether it was a pimp named Polite, the he nigga who say he won, but I don't even know the nigga's name. He was doing the same shit. Sonetta. When we had the Amaran show, the nigga was slandering the nigga's character. It's never the information. That let me know it's actual and factual. You only attack that which you can, right? You can't attack his facts and his truth. So let me leave that alone. But you can attack his character because he don't speak in proper English. He don't speak in line with the white man a black leader should talk like.
Yeah. So.
Thing I'll say too, I gotta put this out there. If niggas is throwing jabs at General, you never see General Sadie confusing you with the enemy's uniform. That's the most identifying factor. We have niggas wearing suits now. The infancy, niggas gonna try to pick and choose, try to dissect mid-round conversation. But that's what I'm saying now. Niggas wear suits to infiltrate because your character is always under question, right? Being the black man, right? Anything you wear can be questionable. Even if you wear a suit that's too nice, you look like he's a gangster. He got one of them Italian suits on. So, General Sadie don't even put himself in that position of branding because he's never caught up wearing the enemy's uniform. Huh? His uniform appeals to a certain group, the youth. His talk appeals to certain people, the youth. That nigga has an agenda. Most of these niggas want the leadership wrong, want the notoriety, but if you hear them talk, they really never thought about their agenda for us. You see what I'm saying? Look at the city that produced SETI, Detroit. Been ransacked by Arabs and Jews. That was the biggest spot in America. Now it's California, right? Experienced all that downtrodden. The motherfuckers getting, the systems coming on us, they having water outages, right? They really doing for self out there. So it's gonna be speaking his language. He ain't never, he's made his mind up that I'm not gonna be working for no cracker. Because even if I had to, it's gonna some way conflict with my message I'm trying to bring to the youth. That's why I came to the conclusion I am at now, right? Because you're gonna be conflicted with your second personality. You can't serve two masters. You can't be a king and then have to go check in. I mean, you can. Don't get me wrong, but you can't be a king who throw rocks and you living in the glass kingdom. I'm gonna leave it at that.
And I'm going to tell you, in my opinion, I feel like it's almost like people trying to usurp the general's history and the work he done put out there, because that's why I will never fuck with Reggie. Now, I'm not saying that some shit he might put out there ain't good, but, I got other Africans I can go to for that same information, because he comes out here not only with the facts and the knowledge that the general is sharing with the family, but that his delivery, him using curse words, that makes me think of the fucking religions of perversion. I'm not trying to hear that shit.
Like, check what happened. Mia.
Black Power, y'all hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
All right.
But look at it as more being a case of slander. Because in America, we go this for the conservative niggas. In America, it's assumed you're guilty. I mean, you're not guilty until, right? So if you know, Brother said he ain't really take nothing in terms of other people's character.
Yo, listen, man. Check this out. I wanted to ask something real quick about something Sister Camille said about Reggie, right? And Brother Reggie came out, right? He came out. He made a pleading, made an argument. He made an argument and everything, you know what I'm saying? He made an argument about the fact that, you know, he apologized, he was sorry about how he anything that he said against SETI and woo 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 woo. And so I took that and was like, all right, whatever. You're just coming out trying to gain some brownie points and all that shit, trying to come back and retract your words. I'm glad you came and retracted them. I'm glad you did that. You know, that's an honorable thing to do. But anyway, you still ain't really, you know, did nothing that I can hold on to until I listened to I was checking out the weight for Dr. Ben, and they just spoke on, and they were speaking on just Reggie's relentless, tireless, you know what I'm saying, type of care of Dr. Ben. How he would make sure Dr. Ben got anywhere that he needed to go, would take you know, and just be a mainstay in Dr. Ben's life for his, you know, his last years, making sure that he could get to, you know, in and out of places and just be social as much as he could. So, you know, I took that in stride, said, you know, all right then. Reggie gained a couple points with me with that. I still don't like what he did because I felt that it was, you know, that's low to attack the character, try to attack the character of a man. You don't attack his character. If you see something wrong in what he's saying, then you attack what he's saying. Don't try to find a character flaw because all of us got those.
Malcolm X said a horse can enter a horse race and come so far from losing that you'll never even know that horse is in the race. And he asked us, he made that statement in context to, how do you feel, Malcolm X, about the civil rights movement? And he said that it was bourgeois niggas who went down to the civil rights movement who had no real passion for civil rights change legislation, but only went down there to say that they went down there, to gain some notoriety. So I don't know who the fuck Brother Reggie is. So I question, why were you doing that? If you were doing, my grandma always told me, don't never say your blessings in public, because when you do, you get your blessings big. You cut your blessings short.
It wasn't him scaring me, though.
It wasn't taking a Dr. Ben here and there. You know, I have to question your motive, so you can later say that you was around him, and you see what I'm saying? He didn't do it for real. You come.
These was elders in the community who was there at the wake. Elders in the community who knew Dr. Ben, were friends of Dr. Ben, who were giving kudos to Brother Reggie for the things that he had done for the last 10 years for Dr. Ben. So that's all I'm saying, is that it was, you know, that's what it was. It was elders who was, you know, just giving them thanks for doing that.
Ashe, and I feel you on that, but I find that peculiar too. Because we had F.O.G for Dr. Ben. Why are we giving Reggie a pat on the back? The doctor who...
You know how, no, they was talking about a lot of different people. You got to listen to it. It was like something that was said during people just talking about people who had been around Dr. Ben. You know how they just be talking. So it wasn't, it was a focal point. I'm just saying I remember them saying that, and I was like, oh, all right then. At least
and that's Black Power, but it don't take away from how I felt. He came onto the scene trying to usurp the general. To me,
no doubt.
Of Mr. Slavery. That's my opinion. You know, I see that as self-hatred. You know, so I feel like certain people mad that the ancestors chose SETI, just like people was mad that the ancestors chose Dr. Khalid Muhammad and was talking about his language, his delivery. You know what I'm saying?
True. Well, you know, it don't take nothing away from that. Like I said, I just seen that. I said, oh, all right. I said, somebody, now, what I took it was that somebody, I'm always speculative as, do anybody know who you is? Because like you said, how he came on the scene, people really hadn't known who he was, not into what, into what we call what was going on. People didn't know who he was. So that's why I said I just accepted it as, oh, all right, because how would I know if he was really around Dr. Ben? Y'all can say anything on camera without nobody around, no other elders around, nobody around to acknowledge you saying something that's truthful or not. So that's all I took it as. And like you said, it don't take away from the treacherous way that he came in, had to crawl on his belly in front of the Hebrew for whatever he said or did not say.
Right, and let's be real. Would that apology to the general had that treacherous Hebrew not pull his shit and let him know I'm going to tell everybody the shit you said? The shit you did to the general?
Check.
It's a contradiction. You can't be like Malcolm X is a genius. You know what I'm saying? When you put the horse race, the race for what? Liberation, right? Yeah, a lot of niggas is looked at as being horses and shit, right? Every horse got a different reason for why they in that race. Your job is to find out why this nigga in the race. Hey, I hear what he's saying, but why is he as an individual? What was the change that took place in his heart that led him to go to this? Well, where did his convictions lie? You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Now, how you can't be doing a good service for Dr. Ben and then attacking one of Dr. Ben's grandbabies? That's a contradiction. SETI is the shining knight in defense of Dr. Ben. Niggas wasn't even talking about Dr. Ben in the public light. See what I'm saying? Niggas try to realize that Dr. Ben was at that debate with SETI and Aline Bay. Right up front. Who won that debate with Aline Bay? And if Dr. Ben was there, who was in Dr. Ben in their support of? Huh? Who the SETI saying there? I ain't here bringing nothing that's new. The elders right there. They done brought this shit already. I'm translating. I'm taking the language in which they had to talk and translate it back to the youth. That's what SETI be doing.
Oh.
Feel me? He bilingual. He understand language. So that's what your job is, to make it plain for your people. And they can dress it up how they want to, long as the simple messages convey the truth. Nigga, you got a great history. You came from Africa. You outdated the cracker. You older than all these religions. Very basic. The language, that's in defense of the culture and the status quo now. And you're going to be conflicted. Trying to uphold a positive image with the status quo now and then trying to resurrect the legacy of your ancestors who died in defense of that culture that you defended. You got a warp side. You got a double consciousness that's fighting itself, like self-hate. Yeah, that's it right there.
Sure.
You know what the sad part is, yo? Is that there's so many great individuals that have so many resources that could connect the motherland to us here to bring an actual strength and bond and further communication and support to one another between our brothers and sisters in Africa and our brothers and sisters here. But you keep making us lose that resource if you are going to turn against your own brother here. based on something that I really just don't understand, what that shit is really all about. Like, just look at it like this, you know what I'm saying? If you didn't have one or the other, you know what I'm saying? The way that SETI speaks to the people and the people that SETI touches when SETI does what he does, you know what I'm saying? If there was no SETI, look at how many people has been touched by him, has been awakened by him, and into the lot, for me that I can relate to, especially, here in Cali and shit, you know what I'm saying? It would be a lot of brothers that were still doing the same shit, either banging, killing each other, selling dope, pimping, you know what I'm saying? He woke up a lot of people, you know what I'm saying, and got them on that right path. That was on a path of this, destruction and shit. My bad, yeah. But you get what I'm saying and shit.
Yeah. No, that's true, man. And so right now it's gonna sound like that. This the side over here, man. This the other side over here, man. As they say, all good things come to an end. We're going to have to make some divisions. I decide not to draw a line in the sand on the N-word today. That will not happen. Cannot happen. I will not draw the line in the sand and say that this brother is out of line. I've seen several different posts. And I'm not even going to pull them and go into all of those different things that were being said. But I'm just shocked that the people. I'm shocked that it's going on. That's what I'm just shocked. I'm like, come on, man. Word. Y'all know each other, man. Y'all can contact each other. Ain't no doubt about that. No doubt. So that's where I'm at with it.
I said that's what I stayed on Facebook for the last 2 weeks, easy. Because again, what Jeannie has brought to the table, particularly that concept assault, the mental indoctrination, which is under the line of Amos Wilson, I rise with. I definitely rise with the war on the rising. Yes, a war is here. The brother's absolutely right. That being said, the general is on point in his way, and there is nothing wrong with it, in my opinion. And I'm not going to choose no side, especially when I feel like if you got a problem with the N-word, put that at the feet of the cracker beat. Like you said, how you going to come at the victim of this a white cracker beat suppression that we all have been breastfed on? We all got fucked up issues by ourselves. Ain't nobody walking around here perfect. All I want to know is, like you said, are you African first, second, or third? Do you hate the cracker beats? Are you against integration? Do you hate homosexuality? Another thing from the cracker beats? I'm with you. You for BB for Hodier? I rise with you.
Mm-hmm. And that leave a whole lot of stuff that we can work on. We can work on these things, man. I know, but look, we want to start somewhere. We need to start somewhere. And we need to make a real start. That should be the start.
I think a good start would be that, and this is an issue out here. This is from a Cali perspective, you know what I'm saying? And make her, if I'm wrong, you know what I'm saying, you can correct it or say if I'm on point or off point, you know what I'm saying. But here in Cali, you know what I'm saying, when we see a person that attaches itself to something, doesn't matter what it is, you know what I'm saying, whatever principles or whatever it is you choose to stand for or not stand for, when you put all your effort into it, into showing the people how much of it you are versus how much of it you are not, and then judging others by how much they are versus how much they're not, that's somebody you got to watch, because why are you spending all your time and your resources into something that's not going to benefit you or benefit nobody else? So that means you have to what? Prove yourself. A man that feels he has to prove himself doesn't know who he is because he's looking to be giving a title that will give him an identity so that he can be accepted by what? His people.
Right. And the morals or the code in which he does, anybody can manipulate that and test it. So he's always being tested. And it's not one of equal weight. You're right, Brother April, when you say that. You know what I'm saying? Regardless if a nigga say an MMA fighter, the nigga say he a preacher. If he constantly has to emphasize this is what he is and why he just does this and he's so cold and does this, and he's not among people who are in the same code, then he feels he's always feeling he has to prove something. So that means he may not really be what he's standing on. You see what I'm saying? Because anybody can question that. Nigga, you ain't no MMA fighter, and then he go right into defense. Or she go right into defense. You see what I'm saying? But and oftentimes you don't even ask them why, you know what I'm saying? They feel the need to tell you because they feel it's something that's questionable in their character. You see what I'm saying? That's good shit, brother. Aaron.
Sure.
So the first thing before I even argue with you who you say you are, I'm just gonna take you. Okay, I'm gonna take you for what you say you are until you show me otherwise. You know, when you constantly feeling you have to, you know, the need to show me or tell me this is what it is, or, you know, and I'm not even asking you. I'm a question. You know what I'm saying?
Well, on the East, we call that fronting and being suspect. And that's all I'm going to say on that. You know, again, I know the general is not active on people. And I think
every day he repented like Clinton did.
A lot of static in the back.
I don't know what was going on. It was like 3 or 4 people talking at once.
Let me see something here.
But I heard the point the sister was making, though. But basically, we see it the same way. You know what I'm saying? Fronting is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. If you meet a pastor, for example, and the pastor keep telling you, I'm a good pastor. You know, I'm a real good pastor. I know you're a good pastor. But if he keep emphasizing that, you're going to be like, you got a guilty conscience about something. You know, you may be a little insecure about the role in which he labeled himself as being a pastor. You see the point I'm making?
Mm-hmm.
That should be something the people should say. You shouldn't have to emphasize a characteristic yourself. People should have that to say about your character. Mm.
I you say something which I did not add on. You know, I don't want to be arrogant to say what I think Marcus Garvey would feel regarding that video or the general. But what I will say is, what I've read of Marcus Garvey, thoughts and opinions, in my opinion, the general message of a BB for Hope for our people is the same message that Marcus Garvey had for our people in his day and time.
Sure.
We're going to have to really start defining our own thing, man. We not, and like I said, man, we ain't worried about the divide, man. Anything's going to happen in time. But I just don't want the divide to be over. We not be saying the N-word and that. We ain't going to say nigga. Like, I make sure I refrain from it on the show. I don't know, and it's just not something that's in my lexicon like that. Because I had went Muslim one time, super Orthodox type, like NOI, super Muslim Orthodox. Part NOI, part Orthodox Muslim, like. And I didn't, I try to keep every curse word out of my language. I ended up in Texas talking to some brothers who I could not communicate with them at all because of our language barrier, not because I just spoke a different dialect than English, but because their whole vocabulary was different. And so I had to get into the vocabulary. And it came to my nigga this, nigga that. And it's all over. And one of the other things was I started to get around youthful people again. That's another thing. Yeah, that happened. But with that being said, like I said, tonight, Slaughterhouse Saturday, we getting it in on N-word and nigga. Is it something that we should define RBG paying African people by?
What's good, brothers?
Black Power, what's going on? Who's this?
Black African goddamn power. I'm a raw squad up. Real black atheism is on the goddamn rise, man.
Black power, art. What's good?
What's good? Menkara, what's good? Man, you know what? Man, that word is a very, very interesting word, man. And I think the viewpoint that each individual black person holds is correct on that word. Okay? And depending on your age and depending on your understanding of it, you know, that word can mean a lot of different things. But in the circles I travel, in the world I don't walk through, you know what I'm saying, that is a word that black people can use as they so choose. They can choose not to use it and say it's terrible and it's horrible, and I respect that. They can say it's a word of endurement, right, and I respect that. And then they can turn around and say, nigga, and then shoot at you. It is what it is with that word. But under no circumstances, absolutely positively, can a cracker use that word. Under no circumstances, right? But under no circumstances should brothers and sisters fight each other over that word, okay? Because we do what we do. We use words, and words change over time. This is clear that in the English language, words clearly can change. It can mean one thing at one time period. It can ease itself into something else. Like the word atheist, the word changes over time. So you best be understanding all the changes the word has went through. That's just real right there. Yeah. So I don't understand what the problem is. So if you mad because people using the word nigga, you too motherfucking old. You need to sit your ass down on the goddamn sideline somewhere because you tripping. Whoever that might be, you just tripping. You too old right now, and you're done. If you mad at your brother over using that word. But if you're mature, right, and you're keeping up, and you understand the English language, you should not have a problem with that. And so we can respect each other. Like if I'm in a certain place and the person just doesn't like that word, I don't have a problem not using that word. Because you feel that strong, it's okay. So depending on where you at, depending on who is controlling that environment, right, whether you use the word. So we should always be respectful of our brothers and sisters. If you had a lecture and the people at the lecture don't want you to use that word, then by all means you should not use that word. But if you're in a place where you want to use that word, you should be able to use that word without some old hag coming up running his mouth about that word. It's a goddamn word. It's a word that has hurt people during time, and it's also a word that has uplifted people. And we're not talking about the pseudoscience behind the word, like the niggas and all that. We ain't talking about that. We ain't talking about the pseudo shit that people have put on the word. We just saying the daggone word. So we need to cut it out. Let it go. I'm listening.
Black power.
Black African power.
That's right. I feel that, brother. Under no circumstances should a cracker use that term. And it's funny because when you know the history, when you know the Ethiopian root of the word, it's a word of royalty. And foreigners can't call you by your surname of royalty. And even when you look at the African in America who don't know that, even through the use of the European, subconsciously your mind know that nigga ain't supposed to call me that. He can't call me that. That nigga on this, he's made, before you even get to the level of slavery and the use, it's really, the Ethiopian royal, it's a royal term, and a savage can't call you by a royal term. You can't use my surname, nigga. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah.
You can't even call you by your name.
It should be slapped. On point. As soon as they say it. I mean, it got to be so reactionary that he going to be looking like, what the fuck happened? You know what happened, nigga. You been fucked up.
Yeah. Now, another thing that said, though, that was important is that it is under no circumstance will we be fighting each other over this word. We should not have contention, and that's something else that Sister Camille was hitting at. That if you really want to do something and think that this word's so bad, lay it at the feet of the crackers who made it bad. Like,
yeah, that's just dumb, yo. To fight. That's just dumb to fight over that. That's like crazy shit. Yeah, now you just crazy, lost your mind. Yo. You're not really in it. You're not in it for the people at that point. You tripping. Like, I'm not gonna keep on the show when y'all say don't use it and then get mad at y'all and want to fight y'all. That's some crazy shit right there, yo. That just shows the level of PTSS, post-traumatic slave syndrome, yo. Seriously, it's a word, man. What? Allah Akbar. Word. So, and then, it's just crazy, man. I mean, we just confused any damn way, so we liable to fight over any goddamn thing, man.
I think
somebody got to
fighting over the word. Niggas fighting over the word though. When Puerto Ricans using the word, and niggas will give a pass on a Puerto Rican or a little Mexican nigga using the word. Oh, that's my nigga right there. No, he not. No, the fuck he not. You know what I'm saying? Who this motherfucker using? He think he knows something about me. He think he shouldn't be that comfortable around me and don't know my history. Enough to say nigga around me. You see what I'm saying? I'm not going to, I'm more or less banging on motherfuckers who not black using the word. Real talk. Who using it on an everyday basis, who making songs, who trying to set up any platform they can to show their friends. Look. I got away with saying nigga in front of some niggas. I called a black person a nigga in front of them. He ain't do nothing. That's how they use it when they stand in front of us. And they don't identify with us because if they was, they would know our plight. You see, them trying to get away with saying that shit in front of us on a comfortable basis. Because I'm harder than this nigga. I can call him a nigga, No, nigga get slapped real.
Ask you something? What would you say then to the people that would say that they're using the word because of us, because we use it in our music and when we talking to each other? What would you say to people that say that?
I would say that you motherfuckers is trying to beat me when you talking. That's what that is. Somewhere along the line when you talking, you're trying to identify with the African without being an African. I mean, you emulating me without, you envying me on a deep level. That's why they all got like a certain hate for us. That's why, like in their culture, they got that norm for black men when it comes to fucking with their women, for example. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to us, we seem to be kind of open when it comes to that. Even when we bring up the issue of biracial, before we get to the black community, we really open to it. What? It's really the standards other motherfuckers put on. You know what I'm saying? So that lets you know there's something already in their culture indicative about us. And it was fucked up about it. These motherfuckers ain't even near older than us or even have a history with contact older than us than Europeans. That means them motherfuckers are assimilated wannabes. Dr. Clark say sometimes the wannabes will fight you harder.
Ashay, Brother Unc, I just want you to know, first of all, I respect you immensely in the Amin Ra Squad, and I just want you to know you happen to be my favorite out the Amin Ra Squad. I really feel you're African warrior. And not to say that I don't feel it from the other brothers, but y'all respect to me. And I just want you to know I appreciate you, King.
All right. Well, I just cleared out the noise in the background, so we should be settled in. Had a bunch of timberwolves out there jumped into the line, trying to get themselves in on this night right here. But yeah, at the end of the day, man, there's no way that we can make that the starting point of what we want to do, and we're going to get some African liberation, man. You're going to have racism, white supremacy is the problem. That's the enemy. That's the problem right there. there's a whole lot of different fights within inside of that total. You know what I'm saying? It's like a whole different. It's a lot of different battles within inside that fight. But all in all, man, that's where our problem at is with the social construct that we live up under that we are yet to realize. And the one reason we can't realize it is because one thing we're trying to do is forget things that keep us connected to realization. And one word that keeps us connected to the realization of who we are, how we got here, is nigga.
That's it.
And if you like, and if you, you know,
hey,
if you like Naga, say Naga. If you like
brother
Naga, say God. Okay.
When you say the word nigga has the same meaning for black in America as a hot dog. They just put anything on us. See what I'm saying? That's why I ain't got no problem with the word nigga, because I know it functions just like a hot dog. How you watch a hot dog? You just put anything on it. We were Negroes, we're colored, we're niggas. When it came to identifying us, the European, as you was just a label anyway, and when you know that, you don't get caught up in titles. Because the power of definition is you decide who the fuck is the general and who's the enemy. Who's the knowledgeable person and who's discredited. You see what I'm saying? So for us, we know the word games that crackers play. So when niggas say, my nigga, I got a problem with it because I in America, as a black man, I've been treated like a hot dog. They just put anything on me, homie. Felonies, murder, slander. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, though, the lines is open. We got the lines open tonight. The conversation tonight is on N-word, a nigga. Is this something that we should be focused on, or this is just another goddamn distraction? We got to keep this shit out of here. And definitely the main reason that I came out with this is because I didn't like the attack, you know what I'm saying, on a person's character, on a steady character over the word, and not an attack on what was being termed as a fight against moral degeneracy, more like a personal gripe. And that's from the people looking at it. We can see it as what it looked like. Now, guest, you wanted to say something on guest 25. You know, guest 25. I'll just open your line back up.
You're a fucking nigger.
Look, thank you. That's exactly what we're saying. That this is the context we live up under.
Mm-hmm.
Right here. Right here. So we knew don't have to prove the point.
Okay. Damn cracker beat. Mm-hmm. Okay.
He felt good saying that. He felt good. You know what I'm saying? It run off the air. Because that's how scary they is, as we've been saying tonight. If they say it, they know that they be in the immediate takeoff zone. They mind be out, it's time for me to run. And if they mind ain't into, it's time for me to run, you got to knock their goddamn asses out. ASAP.
And you know, one of this just made me look at a positive for using it. I don't know which one of y'all said this is real, that when you say that word, it takes you back to that time period. And it also reminds the cracker beast of the foulness, the low-down treachery, foulness of who they are and what they did to us as a people. So that is another positive for saying nigga, because they do take it back there. Remind you, okay? This is who the fucking enemy is. And to that cracker beast, because I know you're listening, please know there's a blood debt that your motherfucking ass owes.
Thank you, fucking little coward.
So,
and go to
that
prove
shit
the point.
wild though, yo. The cracker
And
used
go to
the word
prove the point.
nigga like he got a Dillinger in his pocket. And the word nigga is his only bullet. Like when the cracker come in and call you a nigga, it's like it's supposed to have that much impact and sting and shit. You know what I'm saying? There's a million low life, dirty, foul, unhuman, you know what I'm saying, just evil, beastly, just even any self-respect or dignity or even a grain of sand of you even being human that I could use to, you know, give the cracker a title. But the only thing the cracker has in his clip is nigga. So, you know, cracker, I think you need to go back and do your homework a little bit more, you know, maybe sharpen up your brain a little bit, you know what I'm saying, get some of them calcium deposits out of that motherfucker and be able to use your brain the way it's supposed to be used. Maybe you'll be able to find something other than nigga, you know what I'm saying, or your so-called white on black assault. That shit getting real old and getting real tired.
Like they can use it in front of me so that I can give you what you need to get. See, because this is what happens is that, you know, it's not that I'm angry that you're saying it. It's just this justification for me to bust your mouth open, man. It's justification for me to put hands on you as bad as I can until somebody pull me off of you.
That's real. That's all.
And that's how I'm taking it right there. I'm not taking it no different kind of way. Because I can't allow no singular word to have that type of power over me in the context of what the fuck I'm living in, man. This shit is fucked up. Way more fucked up than what niggas gonna stop it from being, man. Niggas the ones gonna stop this from being like this.
Akshay.
The lone niggas you thought wasn't going to do it, they're the ones going to do it. So, we don't want to divide this up into the class warfare, but it seems like it's coming, whether or not you the black bourgeoisie or you one of them Negroes from the street. You know, and we're not saying that it's just the college, but it's certain type of, you know, especially if you second generation college types and stuff like that, they definitely be really off into it like that on this N-word masquerade. But I'm just really not feeling it at all. I'm not going to be able to do it. Even though like I said, it's not that I'm saying let's just go call ourselves Mr. Nigga, Miss Nigga. I'm gonna go to the baby, little nigga. I ain't about to do that. I ain't doing nothing like that, not at all. But I'm not going to condemn my people for their choice of words in a war. Nah. They hurt. I'm going to stop them from saying that. You hurt. Don't say that. Nah. Mm-hmm. You hurt. Say what the fuck is on your mind. Say it exactly how the fuck you feel. You hurt right now. Tell the truth. Then maybe the other people who hurt can feel your goddamn pain and they'll realize that they've been hurt too.
Mm. That's real.
So that's where we at with that. Brother Unc, you know what? You might have to come in next week, man. Brother Unc, man, we might have to talk about this, you know, just to get a little conversation going on evolution. Kept around, stuff like that. There's a lot of things going on. I want to get a conversation in on.
Mm-hmm. I would love to hear that. And, you know, I would love if you could also express from his point of view what Dr. Sheikh Al-Hadi's position was on it. Because we done fell off a little bit, but that study group that we doing, book club, whatever you want to call it, dealing with Dr. Richard King, brings up some interesting points regarding this matter. I'm going to say that way.
Yo, you hear me? Okay, man. I see you still on the line. I don't know where you at, though. What?
You didn't mute his mic, did you?
Nah, I ain't muted his mic. I can see him. I see his joint open. He called from Georgia. So I know that's him. But, as like I said, you know, we want to talk about that, have a nice little conversation on this evolution, and just the different bones and the different thoughts on this thing, and also some different African aspects on this evolution and Kepara. The African origin of the species. But let me see. I don't know what else needs to be said about this term, man. I think we're all in agreement right now. I think we have exhausted the topic because it's something that I think we've already have come to some type of agreement in our own selves already. So I wish some of the people I know I see the people out there on the line. I wish some of those people who were on the opposite would have chimed in to give their assessment of the situation from their polar, from the opposite side of this fence right here. Just so I can see exactly what was what and how was this put together, because I wouldn't mind that dialogue. But, I'll put it out to where the people were in strong contention against, were strongly for, strongly against, and wanted to get everybody in that wanted to come in and put their words in on this subject right here. Let me see. I'm going to open up the lines again real quick and see if anybody who out there right now want to add on anything. Let me see here.
Yeah, I was hoping they would be brave enough to, express their opinion on it in the open forum, since so many people can call the general who's done great work, in my opinion, is still doing great work, far before a degenerate, and all kinds of things like that. I wish you could have, come here and let's have this discussion.
Mm-hmm.
Peace and love, family.
Hey.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Hold up. This is Tanya Bailey from Facebook.
Hey, what's going on, Tanya?
This is the first time I'm actually listening to the show. I've been listening for the entire show, and I have to say that I actually feel ashamed of myself right now, because I had chose the opposing viewpoint initially, and I had prepared a summary of the reasons why I felt as though it was a word that, we shouldn't have in our vernacular. But after listening to the family, I've come to be ashamed, because there was a time in which I was shrouded in probably about 7 yards of fabric until the general educated me on the school that I was under, and I see it as extreme freedom. But then at some point I was persuaded to believe that, I won't get into that, because once again that's a sort of division that we've been talking about all this time. And I just want to say that on MLK's birthday, I put up a profile photograph of him, that would be Martin Luther King. I put up a profile photograph that he had taken in about 1967 with his middle finger up. It was during a card game, and he had a big smile on his face, and a lot of people were very upset with me about it. They thought it was Photoshopped, and it wasn't. And so it had a very negative, I should say, it had a very, it just gave a negative, as far as they were concerned, viewpoint of him. They saw him as a minister and somebody who would not have that sort of a fuck you mentality, but yet he did. So my point in all of that is that I thought, well, maybe, it's better if we're bilingual in our terminology. Now that I've listened to the discussion fully, I've analyzed myself and realized that when I stopped listening to the general, for my opinions about his mentality. My whole point of view changed. I became more submissive, less angry, and more complacent. And I think I'm just going to start listening to the videos again, and I think I'm going to wash that sort of bourgeois mentality away. And again, I'm ashamed of myself. How could I have turned against the person that actually freed my mind? And that's pretty much all I wanted to say. Peace and love.
Like power, I say. What's going on? Tanya, this brother born. You know, peace, Queen. Glad you called in. Make sure you know, anytime you want to, come on in. You know, we tuned in, keeping it African first, second, and third. But I'm definitely glad you came in and expressed your views. And you know, as we said, we just want somebody to come in because it's not that we want to be right or wrong, but we all in this together. That's the main thing. We all in this situation together. So we got to look at each other just like that, like we all in this together.
Yeah, that's real talk.
And we're walking contradictions. And we are entitled to change, okay? Because we've all been indoctrinated by the cracker beast oppressor. And Queen, I just want you to know, you just made me thrilled that we our Facebook family. I want you to know that. This is the Camilla. You made me thrilled, Queen.
I love you all. Peace and love.
Peace and love.
Black power.
Well, fella, you know, we coming on to the end, and what I want to do is, you know, we're going to go out with the theme song. We're going to go out with our national anthem. You know what I'm saying? We're going to go out with our national anthem and everything, but I just want to have everybody, you know that at the end of the day, we one African family. We all victims of racism, white supremacy, and as victims, we cannot tell other victims what mannerism they can express their pain. At the least, they have the right to express their pain. So, you know, if anybody want to add on from there, I'm gonna hit it out. We'll go to the after party. Maybe you know, we might hit the book club up, hit the Google. You know how we do, and get it rocking. Black power.
Black power. I just gotta say, the language of the revolutionary is one in tune with vibrations that's set at a certain frequency. That frequency is set to arouse a certain emotion up in you. When you listen to Brother General Seti, he knows exactly what he's doing. He's speaking loud. He's speaking in what they would call vulgar tone. Because the message in which it needs to be across has to hit a certain vibration. It has to bring out emotion in you. Because we're African people and we've been conditioned and enslaved in America, when we get that vibration and we feel that feeling, we've been conditioned to assess that with fear behind it. The more and more we listen to Seti and so forth, that fear is being shooken away. The fear of trying to fit in. The fear of wanting to fit in. The fear of trying to meet standards that even if you do meet, it's going to be something else. It's going to be a skin tone that's going to be used. Everything's going to be used against you. Even how you talk, how you look. So to some extent, why mix a culture? That's what we're doing. The bourgeois nigga is one who's mixing the culture. Why mix a culture that you're mixing the real with something that's fake and wasn't set up for you in the beginning? You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. And that's Tanya who came on expressed just that, and I really respect her honesty. How she felt the change in herself when she started listening to the general, to articulate that, to be brave enough and bold enough to speak that truth. I respect, you know, and that's why I said before, you know, when people say, "Oh, you loud, you boom boom bang," I said that didn't bother me. But you know what? I made a decision that I'm gonna let it bother me because you saying that to me, I'm taking that as self-hatred on your part. I'm taking it as you judging me from the cracker beast standard. All right, and I'm offended by that, and I'm gonna let you know.
Yes, indeed.
That's real talk. Because I know one thing. I feel free when I hear the general. You feel free of having to fit in. You know how that come in. That come in all type of forms. How trying to fit the look, fit the talk, fit the scene. You could be free and let your head down, be an African when you listen to the general. We all one when we under that curtain of being an African in regards to what it means to be one and what America tried to say one should be. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Now, Brother Cause, you out there? Brother Cause, I see you out there. I don't know if you want. Brother Hey Boo, you want to drop some final words?
Hello?
Right, problem.
Hello? Hello?
Oh, what's that?
This is Brother Unc. This is Unc. God killer.
What happened to you, man?
What's good? I'm on this show beating up Issa crazy.
Hey, you better stop, nigga. I'm on the scene.
Oh, you on the Google? Yo, listen, right? Yo, check this out. Like I said, man, we want to have to get a chance, man. You got to come in next week, man. We get this discussion on about evolution, Kefron, just a nice little African discussion.
Yeah, let's get a nice little African discussion in that, man. Let's get that, man. I know we don't like white people, yo, but goddamn, yo. We get it.
Let's get an African discussion.
We get it. Did y'all look at the ceremony? Did y'all look at the celebration?
It sound like I had a whole pack on me.
Did you look at the celebration, yo, Dr. Ben, yo?
Huh?
Did y'all get a chance to look at the celebration?
Yeah.
Did you see what James Smalls was dressed in? See what he had on?
I seen it. What was it? I seen him.
They had the leopard skin, and then you see him perform the opening of the mouth ceremony.
Nah, I didn't see that.
You see him do that? They reopened up the casket, right? They reopened up the casket. Kraft came, you know what I mean, and they did like a assimilation, not the whole ritual, you know what I'm saying, but a piece, a little piece of it, you know what I'm saying, just to give you a little taste of it. So all y'all that was in doubt, it was thinking that the great Dr. Ben converted to fucking Islam. At the end of the day, you're fucking mad. I just want to make sure that. Fucking mad. I just want to let y'all know that.
So crazy,
fucking mad, yo. I know y'all know better than that, but they tried it. But guess who else they did like that, though?
Brother,
if you read
out on that. I stand Asa, whatever his name is, Asa, whatever the fuck. I can't stand him. And you handled your business, so did the brother Star. You chopped it up. And it was a thing of beauty, and I listened to the whole 4 hours and change.
We went back and did another one, and we showed the actual ceremonies, and then we showed the Lioness Imam. Because the Imam spoke at the funeral, and he was buck dancing. He ain't had none of that slick shit to say. When he was hiding behind his little mouth, he was talking shit. And when he was there in front of the crowd, that nigga recant. He was on some other shit. Just want y'all to know that, yo. Some recant shit. You know, all of a sudden, Imam said, he said, Dr. Ben don't belong to nobody. So now he go from being a Muslim belonging to the Muslims, you don't belong to nobody now. Dr. Ben don't belong to nobody. He belong to the Creator. Okay, nigga.
To the Creator.
Now he belong to the Creator. But when he was in his mom's line, but when he was in his mom's line, right? Oh, Dr. Ben was a Muslim, and he turned to, come on, yo. I just want y'all to know, yo, that the brother Dr. Ben, yo, is a great ancestor, yo, and he taught people how to respect, honor, and not be in fear of honoring their custom, their tradition, and their ancestors, yo. So at the end of the day, he would have never turned back from that. But if you go to the destruction of black civilization, right? They speak of Queen Nzinga, and the British, not the British, but the Portugal did the same thing. They claimed that she converted back to Christianity after she spent her whole motherfucking life fighting and beating up Christianity and racism, white supremacy, yo. They say they converted. They try to make it seem like you convert back to the slavish religion, yo. That's their thing. So I've seen that movie before, yo. They will stop at nothing. So all of y'all that's teaching, you know what I'm saying, keep doing these shows, keep writing information, do YouTube videos,
leave that shit forever, yo, for the world to see, yo, that we do not convert back to the religion of our own slavery, yo. Because they're going to, I'm telling you, when you die, you're going to try to put you in the fucking church. They're going to try to say you were saved. They're going to do all that shit, man, because they live in fear. I just want to say that.
Yes, Black Power. Black Power. We definitely thank you for dropping them jewels on us right there. And since we know that it already went out over YouTube, I did not see that ceremony right there. So hopefully it'll be out for everybody to be able to look at.
It. It's on the YouTube page. You can go on my YouTube page, but you might not know what the fuck you're looking at. You know what I'm saying? But you see, they reopened that casket, and we just did a hangout on it, and I took an excerpt and played it so you can see. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, Google open the mouth ceremony. You'll see it. He going to have leopard skin on, all that.
No doubt.
Juju, man, nigga. Let them know, Juju. The hell with the Islam, Christianity, Juju. Fuck that shit. Let them know.
That's shade.
Black Power. Yo, Brother James. Solar Mind, where's Solar Mind at? No Solar Mind was out there. The Solar Mind ain't back out there. Let's see what's going on there. Well, listen, family.
You checked out some books? You get a chance to run through them books yet, bro?
Yeah, I opened it up. I cracked it up. And matter of fact, I'm about to bring it into our Google Hangout and read the table of contents to the family and everything. We'll have to discuss that a little bit later. We got to check it out for give it the once over.
Make sure the brothers and sisters, specifically the sister, yo, make sure she get that, yo. Yeah. Make sure they get that, yo. And when y'all get that, don't share that shit. That ain't for everybody, dog. Let y'all know that.
Already.
All right? That's just for y'all, yo. Motherfuckers is serious about what they doing, yo. 300 of them. Bye-bye. There you go. But yeah, we can get that discussion about the evolution and where the European fuck up at. We can do all that. I'm ready for that.
Brother,
no doubt.
Go ahead. What'd you say, sis?
I want to ask you a question because I know you have done extensive study. Have you read Dr. Richard King's African Origin of Biological Psychiatry?
No, I heard matter of fact, I had a discussion with somebody. No, I haven't read that yet. And I don't have it in my library. And just this week, someone was talking about that, and they quoted something from that. So I definitely got to get that book.
Yeah, we've been doing a hangout on that for a few weeks now. And please, I want you to read that book and then get back at me, because I want your opinion too when you come on the show on the great Sheikh Anta Diop's position on evolution and particularly how the cracker beats came about. What evidence is available that would give a plausible theory on that? Because I think Dr. Richard King's work, and particularly how he showed that the carbon atom, which is the key atom of all living things, is what melanin is made from, and melanin was the first chemical to capture light and be able to reproduce itself. And the book really deals with the biological and psychological relationship with melanin and how ancestors built.
Okay, go ahead, sis.
He deals with how our ancestors spent thousands of years studying their own essence, blackness, the black dot, which they got, which they came with the concept of the Uranus, which we call the third eye, the pineal gland. And
what's his name again? Give me his name again.
Richard? Yeah, he was a student of Dr. Ben. Dr. Ben.
Dr. Richard what?
Richard King.
Dr. Richard King.
Yeah.
Richard King, MD.
Huh? Dr. Richard King.
Yeah, he was. He learned under Dr. Ben. Dr. Ben said in a lecture that it was Dr. Richard King who gave him the ideal to take our people back to Egypt or to Kemet. After he had took him and some other, I guess, Ashwaquasian back.
It's definitely a book.
I see his book. So where do you say white people came from? What do you say?
No, we ain't gonna talk about that right now, man. We hold up, man. No, we don't want to drop that yet. We don't want to drop that. We want to leave that for the show, man. We want to leave that for the next show. We're going to do that on Saturday. We don't want to get into all that right now. We might can get that into the after party. We don't want to put that on the air right now. We can get in the after party and do some discussion. We can check you out in the Google or something like that. You feel me? We can get into that. We don't want to drop that on the air right now.
Okay.
Yeah. We want to leave something for the people. So, you know what I'm saying? Listen, this your brother Born. Y'all make sure that y'all tune right in. Huh? What was that?
That was crazy.
Yo, brother Little. Where brother Little at?
Yo, Black Power, you know, the family already spoke for me. You feel me?
All right, no doubt.
You know, I'm super Black Power with this shit. I'm a nigga from the streets, babe. That song with I can't be faded, cause I'm a motherfucking nigga from the street. So, that's how I feel about it. You know what I'm saying? Black Power on that. Any nigga got a problem with that, come see me. Black Power.
And with that being said, we're going to leave off with our brother Little. You know, we make sure the theme music is right, so here we go.
So at this time, like the cracker would ask you to do, I'm going to ask you all to stand. Put your Black Power fist in the air. If any of you want the lyrics to the song or want the song, I do have a CD back there. If you want the song in particular, I will give it to you. Because as the brother said, this is something that we should have at our event to open up each event. Black Power fist?
The hell was that?
F.O.G, family, we'll check y'all out next Tuesday, 9:30. Next Tuesday it'll be 10 p.m. Eastern. News, and more news. Next Saturday, check us out with Bubba Uncle Cat. We're going to be discussing evolution from an African standpoint. That'll be next Saturday, Slaughterhouse Saturday, 9:30 Eastern p.m. Come on and get with a speed on the ground, baby. F.O.G.
Crack it in the trunk.
House nigga 2.